up for a reason. But the world ran out of heroes. So now, you roll with what you got. Kicking down doors with a holy grin. Silver tongues and a dozen sins. Wrong side of justice, right side of fate. No time to ask, we're already late. We ain't your chosen, we ain't your knight, but we shine damn bright when the world ignites. And we roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey. Knight lost his banner, but swings just fine. Rogue's got charm and a five-step crime. Druids growling and warlocks curse. Clerics smiling, which is the worst. Call us mad, call us last. But we hit back hard and we hit back fast. We roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey, hey. When the odds look bad, we raise the stakes. When the gods say no, we're the brakes. When the plan goes south, we smile wide. 'Cause no one rides like the ones denied. We roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey. Dungeon born, maybe one or two, but fate don't ask where it found you. Roll for trouble.
Oof.
Advertisement for ring cams. We got 988 up. We broke 1,000 thanks to all the amazing donations that we had over the past few weeks. If we can bring it down just a quarter, Skylar, that'd be fantasticals. 988 is a mental health awareness, suicide awareness campaign that the charities go towards folks that that receive anonymous, or you can use your government name, texts for specialized care and counseling on the other end. So that's our charity that we picked this year and last year, and I think it'll stick through it. Skylar's got these things going on. Are you winning the war of Spotify? Okay, cool. But we'll go around the room real quick and introduce each other. If you guys are looking at Twitch, we'll start with Skylar and then head over to Coco.
Hey everybody, I'm Skylar. I'm playing Cervantes, the twice blessed paladin. For real. That's it.
And then
Coco.
Coco, what you got?
Hi, everybody. I'm playing Feilani. She is an elf druid.
And then Chavan.
What's up? What's up, everybody? I'm playing Silas Trizal, a tiefling cleric.
Over to Jeremy.
Some call me Ignatius, other people call me other things.
Iggy is fine. I'm playing a halfling rogue with a little extra special sauce.
And then last but not least, our warlock.
I am playing Brody, as he said, a warlock, and I'm playing an elf.
All right. And then we'll get this thing rocking. I'll give a quick schedule for what we've got going on this week, and then we'll blast off. We got tomorrow night. Jeremy's hosting a fantastic party in Castles and Crusades. We're boosting on Troll Lord Games Summer of Siege, and it is literally its favorite. Please come watch that. Jeremy is an absolute artist as a DM. And then Saturday, Coco and I, and maybe Chad Wigman gonna be maybe Saturday. We're gonna do with Lord Gazuma, and then Sunday we're back with Pete. Hopefully he's feeling better. We're back in Saltmarsh on our normal schedule. But here we go. So last week, you guys finally arrived to Fanlin. What had happened was you guys received a contract as a bunch of inglorious bastards who were imprisoned, and you had the special skill set to be selected by an old friend named Droop Droop, a very good goblin, asked you guys to join this group called Stronghold while everybody is spread out across the Forgotten Realms. Hey, go to the Drunken Duck, sign this contract, escort this wagon train north through the Mare of Dead Men in the Forgotten Realms, and go to a little town called Phandalin and check on my buddy Cara Dune. You guys made it on this wagon train for what, 2 sessions? You guys hit the Mare of Dead Men, hit this crazy snowstorm that was predicted by our very own Druid Feilani, who had a brilliant RP thing, was like, oh, I want to check the weather for tomorrow, and literally read my book. It was like, yeah, I know it's 95 today, but tomorrow it's snowing for some reason. Stick with me on this. So a huge snowstorm comes blowing through the swamp, and in this swamp, kind of shadows permeated, and you dealt with a weird presence that you're trying to investigate. You guys made it out of the swamp. Some NPCs that were valuable or noble have lost their lives, one of them being Sir Pete, and you're taking Sir Pete's body back to Phandalin by way of a village called Leylon? Boop, boop, beep, boop. Yeah, Leylon, which when you guys made it to Leylon, you guys saw all of these shadows kind of floating around, and you guys had a bad go with them, so you decided to skirt around the town. Some of the NPCs in the wagon train carried on towards Neverwinter. Some of them broke off towards a place called Thornhold. But, more to follow on all that stuff. You guys made it to Phandalin at the very end of last session with, I think you guys, Jeremy, can you remember the name of your friend? Her name was, it was
Oh, the little girl.
the little girl. That's right. I don't even know if
Kid.
mine.
I call her Kid. That's her name.
I think it was Jin. Was it
Sure.
Jin? Yeah. Anyways, we'll write. It is now Jin. So there was a girl that was abandoned in a barn. You guys collected her, and you
It was
brought her
Jenny.
to Phandalin.
Jinne. Jenny.
Yes. Thanks, pal. So you guys all arrived in this like shot up wagon train in this quaint town called Phandalin, and it's been in our campaign for like 3 years. You meet this. You get to the market square where there's a garden, like a weekend market going on. Selling vegetables and fruits, and there might be a box of puppies, or there's knickknacks and things like that. Like a good box of puppies, Coco. You know what I mean? Like someone's selling puppies there. I don't know why that's bad. What kind of boxes of puppies have you? Let's stop. Let's stop right now, Coco. I don't know. I only see that as a good thing. Anyways, so or a box.
I played D&D for I think 40 years. 40 years. I don't think I've ever encountered a box of puppies.
Yeah,
in a D&D
so there's
game.
a box of puppies. It's like free
So
puppies.
sus.
looking for a home. Anyways, moving on. There's a classic fountain. There's a bell tower. There is like a wooden rampart around this place that's been built by a previous party. There's a star fort in the back that has been overgrown. But there's like quaint cottages around and the hustle and bustle of like a weekend kind of market. You guys arrive there. Meet a guy named I think his name is Geno, and he's like a dip spitting. He's got a Zin in his mouth, and he's like in his, you know, 45 to 50. He's an old guard holding his like halberd up, and his doughboy helmet's cocked to the side. He wears it just right. And he points you to this job board. On there, you guys find out that Kara is gone, that she's out on patrol. She'll be back in plot armor amount of days. But here are some side quests if you guys want to take one. And you guys, ripped off a thing. You ripped off a couple of them. I think it was 100 gold piece per, an extra 50 if you do more than two. So you ripped off this thing. You're like, yeah, we'll go check on potentially this logger camp, and you'll go check on maybe a paladin or something like that. But before you, there's a simple. Before you is the Stonehill Inn, so it's like right next to this job board because everybody goes to the Stonehill Inn. The Stonehill Inn is a simple square, like any tavern, old-timey medieval tavern. Most of them are like the Drunken Duck, the Fancy Squirrel, or whatever. But this one's the Stonehill Inn. It's above the door of the Stonehill Inn. A simple square wooden sign is hanging on two metal rings and sways gently over the door of a two-story tavern. Music permeates from the outside. The sign depicts a mug with two keys behind it. Kind of almost think like the papal seal just a little bit, but it's like a mug, not to be, you know what I mean? But anyways, so it's the mug and two keys behind it. You creak open the door, and within you see a large opening of hall, big tables. It's kind of empty right now because a lot of people are probably out in the market, so it's like early lunch. Think it's like 11 a.m. and everybody's out there buying their last like turnips or whatever. Kumquats, if this was on Lord Gazumba's channel, people would just be like, filling up on those things. Or free puppies. Matter of fact, since you guys are dicks about it, all the free puppies are gone. You guys look back in the cardboard box that cardboard is in the Forgotten Realms now. It's all gone. They're like, oh, no more puppies. You don't get one, Coco.
Oh,
Just kidding. Maybe there's one more puppy.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
You guys get in this large, like square hall. In the back is like you can see the long bar table with the guy doing the NPC thing where he's wiping the bar down and he's talking to two folks. Above you is like a balcony where there's balcony seating, and as you walk in the back right, there's like a staircase that goes up to that. Around the bottom of this thing, to your left and right, are like booths. And some of them have little sheets that can slide in front of them so you can have some privacy. But on the inside is where it's kind of louder. And there's a small, in the back left corner is a small stage. And there's just basically like one dude on a banjo just kind of thumbing some music. But I guess I'll slowly like push it over to you guys. I can go around the room unless someone wants to do something. But the railroad ends at, you guys kind of walk into the bar. There's roughly, I don't know, 8 or 9 people in the bar. There's someone who's clearly the bartender, and then there's someone, she's got reddish hair, plain clothes, and, a towel over her arm, and just kind of wiping up, some mess from someone else, like cleaning up some steel cups and some wooden, tankards, puts it on a tray, and she waves it. And she's like, "Oh, welcome to the Stonehill Inn. Have a seat anywhere. I'll be back in a second. I'm by myself." And you see her kind of walk and have a chat with, the bartender, and you hear clinking and stuff like that. But let's see. If anybody doesn't raise their hand first, I'll start with Cervantes.
yeah. As soon as she says hello, I go, Sir Cervantes, at your service, or at least in your general vicinity. Who is a purveyor of this fine establishment?
There's a guy at the bar, and he just kind of waves his hand and he kind of looks at you. He's like, "Yeah, Tobin Stonehill. Come on, have a seat. But are you looking for me?"
Absolutely. I have to meet every purveyor that we come across. And
Purveyor. He's like, well, I do be purveying, he says now.
I walk up and extend my arm and say, Knight errant, defender of the innocent, enthusiast of root vegetables. Don't ask.
Well, he looks, he's like, please have a seat, and he looks over at, Feilani, and he's like, hi, can I? He's like basically just shifting to like anybody else, right? he's like, he's like, how can I help you guys? We'll be serving lunch in about 20 Faerunian minutes. I don't know how long that is, but I'm guessing it's in the 60 seconds per.
I hope it has turnips.
So yes, we would definitely like to stay for lunch. We've had a very taxing trip, but thank you. I thank you for letting us know when lunch will be served. And you can ignore Sir Cervantes. He's a little boisterous sometimes, especially when he meets new people. He's around people he doesn't know.
Boisterous adventurers do definitely come from here. It's okay. We're used to it.
Oh well, that's good that you're used to it. He definitely gets that way. But yes, we just made it into town, and we are, taking on some odd jobs.
Excellent. Well, hey, we're always in need of adventurers. Did you guys check and he looks over at Silith, and he's like, did you guys check the job board? We've only have a few town guardsmen left, and Kara seems to be gone, but there's a job board out there for any adventurers.
I think one of us took all of them. Yeah.
I'm waving them around. I'm like, hey, we got them right here.
Yeah.
Some of those.
We're gonna help out. We're probably gonna need a place to stay. I think we're gonna need rooms or something at some point to hold up for a while.
Wow, adventurers are always welcome here. So it's a silver piece of night.
I sort of look at Ignatius kind of quizzically because I know he's he's questioning all that.
Yeah, Ignatius is staying quiet and maybe making sure Ginny's with us, right?
Yep, she's in there.
Oh, well, enough with the yabbering then. We go and find a good seat before they're all taken for the lunch rush.
Yeah.
If there's a good seat if all the good seats are taken, then I could threaten someone to move. I would be down for that.
There's one long table that's vacant, right in front of like a stage or whatever. But the other ones have, even though it's a long table, there might be one or two people sitting there. But there are folks around. You can already see, with your insight that Jamna already moved in, talking to somebody. Falcon is off in one of the booths off to the side. Falcon is talking to someone that looks kind of, rangerish, and a little bit older. It's got like a fluffy, almost like a wolf's mane, around it, like almost like a vest. And there are a few other characters sitting there as well. There's one guy with his head down, just kind of shaking his head a little bit. But other than that, the insight's on you guys, but they sit you down. A young lady comes up. She's like, "Hi, I'm Anna." She says, and I'd be happy to, to serve you guys. And she already sits down, mugs of ale, and you can see, she sets down like a basic menu thing that's just like, it's like a copper per person. And 5 coppers, cover for like the first pitcher or something like that. It's nothing too crazy. You guys could just
I reach for her hand, and I take a gold piece and I place it in her hand. I say, a token of the twice blessed. Accept it with pride and perhaps a decent roast.
She she sees this gold piece in her hand and like looks over her shoulder at y- y- you know um, Toblin, and she's like, "Well, I think you guys are good here for the week." You know what I mean? And she just, the gold pieces go like a long
I'm
way.
gonna be like, oh no 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 no, that is a tip just for you.
It, she just looks and she's like, I couldn't. You know
I
what I
think that's
mean?
what
Like,
Cervantes meant.
Nay,
yeah.
good soul, today my coin bears the burden, and tomorrow mayhaps a chicken will repay me in kind. The gods move in mysterious bar tabs.
Okay. Yeah. So
I can't
she
argue. I
walks
can't
off
argue
and
with that.
yeah, she walks
Not a bad
immediately
idea.
back to the kitchen, and you hear pots and pans, and you can smell like, a stew or something like that kind of brewing. But like I said, uh, for you guys like Brent, as you come in and you've got these documents in your hand, and these are basic, simple like adventuring quests or whatever. You see this gnome woman that was with you guys as well, speaking to another woman that was with your wagon train as well, like a taller human. And then the female gnomes, they're up to the bar, off to the corner, kind of, if the movie pans over, it's a shadowy conversation. And then, Falcon's talking to, quietly in a booth, in a shadowy conversation. There's an individual kind of sitting there as you guys sit down. The door kind of opens up, ding ding. It has a bell now, and you guys hear like, "Well, let's get to the each ding ding," and Rondon Jaskin kind of walks in and he looks at someone right there, and he's like, "Oh," he's like, "I think the dude's name was. I gotta get this. I gotta go back to the bar. I gotta my bar people real quick. Who's in the tavern? Haley and Jen, Howie. Oh, Harbin. So he's like, "Hey, Harbin. Oh, your luck's getting worse." And he kind of hobbles over there as well. And then Howie, the guy that was like the purveyor of the wagon train himself, kind of walks in as well with like, his green book, his big green book in hand, and they all sit down with that guy whose head was kind of down, and it's like robble robble, oh, the wagon train, robble robble, all the supplies that were supposed to arrive like kind of necessarily didn't, and they're having a business discussion. Um, and yeah, so and then Toblin and Anna are in there as well, and then there's like a couple NPCs with lowercase n's off to, what I mean, off to the side of the banjo guy. But yeah, Brody, what anything you want to do while you pop in there?
Yeah. Cervantes, you do realize there are other root vegetables. You said, that you like root vegetables, but you always ask for turnips. There's parsnips and ginger and sweet potatoes and beets and
Not in my world,
radishes.
sir. Not in my world, sir. Turnips are tears root vegetable.
If you insist, all right. Carrots are good too, though. They help you see better.
That may be the case, but
And I'm also going to kind of, turn my back to the room, and I'm going to release Slinky and Invisible, and I'm going to have him go over out of, invisibly, and just kind of hover near that kind of hushed conversation with, was it Falcon at the table,
Okay.
and I want to, listen through his ears.
Okay. So you're going to send, I just want to be clear, you're going to send an invisible critter to two clear hunters, very experienced, like,
Well,
it,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's a good
They
point.
look,
Well,
they
it may
look
be a
like,
mistake.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yes, so those two, and then we'll just, as you assess them. So, what we'll do with this is you're going to look over and you're curious about what's going on here. Falcon looks like a very experienced ranger when you were hanging out with him.
Mhm.
He's always got like some sort of critter hanging out with him as well. And then the guy that he's talking to looks like a more experienced person. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
you didn't see them actually meet, but they're sitting down having a very like you know, whispered thing. Now, I'm not saying it's not an interesting conversation. I just want to be clear how you send Slinky over there. You'd be like, oh, you know what I mean? Be
Mhm.
very coy.
So,
I'm not saying don't shoot your shot. I'm not going to, I'm just
right,
saying like you
I'm
roll
gonna
a
have
10 or less
him.
on this
So I'm gonna
stealth,
have him
and these dudes are
like,
definitely going to pick up on it.
yeah. I'm just gonna, I mean, because he is invisible, and I'm gonna just kind of have him. Are they the ones? Which table are they at? I guess I should
So
say.
in the map, it's kind of just like an arbitrary thing. The two of them, look at the longbows. That's kind of where they're at.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can
All
move them
right.
off to the side. In theater of the mind, so like just to set an ambiance for the bar, I threw that shit down. For you
Okay.
guys, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're off in a booth.
All right. Can I have him sort of go kind of low down, out of
Mhm.
sight, even if they could see invisibility? I want him like to be behind
You
cover.
would have advantage on this because like no one's expecting a
Yeah.
little, snake to be invisible snake to be slithering on the floor.
Yeah.
Although it's going to be a flat roll because these dudes are pretty, you know what I mean? Like pretty savvy,
Yeah.
and because it's an animal, right? Slinky's a snake. They're
Yeah. The snake, flying snake,
Yep.
dragon
So you
thing.
sit there and you kind of you got slinkies around your wrist, and you just kind of you know make him go invisible, give him some telepathy to go check out what's going on, and he hits the floor and he
Yeah.
slides. Go for it. Make a roll. Make a stealth roll.
Yes. 23.
Okay. I'll just do a quick roll for both of them for Falcon and okay, nice. One was a nat one was a nine. So I'm not even doing the math on that one. So you can hear them. They're sitting there, and so you're kind of hearing through a snake. All right, the snake's telling you things, and look at a snake's intelligence or whatever. It's gonna pass off like basic. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
uh, so you're picking up the fact that you hear like yeah, the one with the bird, and that's Falcon. The one with the bird wants to go back to his lodge. Uh, the older one wants to go to Crypt Garden Forests to check on old Gnawbone, and then they discuss
Old
weird
Gnawbone.
old Gnawbone. So this is the very first thing. So you can be like, I want to continue listening, and then it carries on for the next couple minutes, and like this weird weather is something that you know Falcon Falcon manages. They speak in terms of like they're a part of some sort of society. Falcon, you go, you know what I mean. You warden the north, and I will go over the mountains and warden the south. You know what I mean? But like, report back if you hear any more about this weather, and then they continue to eat.
Okay. All right.
That's
Then I'll
that's
kind
your
of.
first that's your first roll on that one. Anything you want to do with that information?
Not right this moment.
Okay. Let's see. Anybody else want to pick up on something before I go around the room? Because I'll kind of give this thing to you. Ginny's still sitting there. Um, you get the sense, Ignatius, that this
I'm
town
pointing
is
out to her that
probably
gnomes are sketchy.
okay. She's
You
like,
know,
she totally agrees with anything that you say. Yep, like she's just like, yeah.
I
And
like
she's
point the
got
two
her,
gnomes out over there. I'm like, clearly sketchy, right? Like, yeah, you can't trust people like that.
she looks at you, right? And then you
I'm
know what
not.
I mean?
I'm not a gnome. I'm not a gnome. I'll put my foot up on the table with no like
Yeah.
boot on
You're
the little
taller. Yeah, yeah. You're taller.
furry toes and everything. I'm like, no, see, I'm a halfling. They're gnomes. There's a distinct difference. I
Yeah.
know. We all get
She's
lumped
got
into the
pointy
same
ears.
group. Yes,
Yeah, that
exactly.
gnome's
Exactly.
yeah.
Very
No,
elf-like. That's why you can't trust them.
don't trust gnomes.
Anything with pointed ears, really, don't trust.
Don't trust them. And then she looks at Feilani. No, no.
Man,
She's like,
yeah.
He's not
No.
pointy ears.
No.
Didn't
No.
get me a puppy though. That
No,
must be the
that's right.
charisma. Yeah, it's probably the charisma. I get it.
Look, those puppies were probably not what you thought they were. Okay, I probably just saved you.
She's
Wow.
not. She's not a. She's not a
Nice
people
kid.
person. She's not a people person. So just
Or an animal person, maybe. I don't know.
We're the were
so
the
just
puppies
pointed
mimics?
ears. Pointed ears. Beware. That's the key here.
Beware. But she kind of, once you say that person, and then she correlates it with Feilani, you get the sense that she's like, okay, you know what I mean? And then she's playing with bread or whatever. She's got that doll that she had. I think it was a bear that I think you gave her. That's right. She's got that.
I think we need to replace that.
Its button is hanging out like weirdly. You know what I
Might have
mean?
fleas in it.
He
yeah.
plays with it though.
Yeah, well, 30. Right? 30.
Feilani, anything you want to do before, like while you're sitting there before supper's being like laid out or lunch is being laid out by Anna.
Yeah, so I'm making sure that Jenny is taken care of. I didn't say that she got a drink, so I'm asking Anna if she can get her like either
Yeah,
some milk or some juice
yeah.
or making
She
sure
rubs
she's
her
taken
head.
care of.
Yep. And she gives her some squeezed juice.
Why can't she have a beer?
You don't give a beer to a child. You may look like
Yeah.
one, but you're not a child. Even though you act like one sometimes.
Wow. Wow. Let's put all our
That was
cards
the
out on the table.
that was the most idiotic question I've ever heard.
I drank beer when I was her age.
Well, we don't want her to end up like you, now do we?
Well, we don't know what the well is like here in town. They could have bad water.
As you guys are discussing this, you guys look down and Ginny's got Ignatius's beer like in her hands. It just starts like
No. When you're older, I'm sorry.
you can tell there's a great level of influence that like Ignatius has. And if it's a good idea for Ignatius to be racist against gnomes, she's like, all right.
No. It's not against those. It's not against those. Let me be clear. It's all pointed-eared people. I said. I don't want to be specific to just one type of fantastic creature like a gnome. Yeah. And beer for kids.
You just want to take care of Ginny's welfare is basically like yeah. Yep. So Ginny's seems to be taken care of, but you get the sense that adventuring is probably not going to be so keen having Ginny with you. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, that was my next question after, bickering with Ignatius. I look at Anna and I ask her, is there anywhere that she can stay and someone can, watch over her while we go and do these jobs?
make a, I would say make a persuasion check. Yes. Yeah. Go for it. And literally,
13.
that's not bad. Wait, don't you have like a minus? Did you put your minus?
Minus 2. Yeah.
Okay, so you had a 15. Okay. She's like, and you found her in Leyland then. And she looks at you with this, like, she gets it that actually, in level 1, level 2, like a 12 is actually what makes it for just about anything. So she's like, well, let me talk to Dad, and let's see what we can do. But she could stay here for a time. We could put her to good work.
And
she looks
I
at you,
will.
She's like, as long as her father is okay with it, and she looks down at Ignatius.
That is not her dad.
Cervantes hears that and just chuckles.
Wait a
Daddy
minute, wait a minute.
Ignatius.
She can't drink a beer, but we can put her to work.
Well, she'd learn a good trade in the meantime.
And why are we leaving her?
He doesn't need to go with us because it is dangerous for her.
I don't
It's
think
dangerous
she's
for
good
all
with
of
an
us.
axe. She's not good with an axe, I don't think. She's probably safer here, my guess. Right, friend?
Are you going to keep watch of her when we get into a fight?
Sure.
highly doubt that.
Why?
Wouldn't you be free in mind if she was here somewhere safe with someone that we know than out there right next to you possibly and could get hurt?
I like lean across the table like, I don't. Why do we trust these people just because they own an inn?
Where else are we going to put her?
She can come with us.
I break into their little thing. I go, we could talk to Darren. He might be able to take care of her.
Who's Darren?
Sir Darren of the Order of the Gauntlet. He's who we're here to talk to. Or maybe maybe Sister Gariel.
Maybe we should let her decide.
I think you would be very hurt if she ended up coming with us and she got hurt.
Ho ho!
You would be very, you would feel guilty.
Because the courts have done great things with those decisions.
Oh boy. In Faerun, it's perfect though. Let's see. Hey, thanks for the donation, Alien Anti-Hero. That's one regular roll for the party to steal from each other.
Just hear me out. Let's say we leave her here, and the town is attacked by, I don't know, rampaging orcs or a dragon. And then am I supposed to feel guilty for that too? Because I didn't take her with me?
Look, you do what you want. You ask her opinion, and then you suffer the consequences later.
Ginny, would you like to stay here in the inn while we go and take care of business?
Passive insight. She's 8 years old. She's like, I want to stay with you guys. And just like hangs on to you.
You see? You see?
All right, she'll come with us.
Goodness gracious.
Oh,
But like I said, and I look him dead in the eye. Look him dead in the eye. But like I said, she is your responsibility.
I look right at Jenny. I go, Jenny, and I reach into my satchel and I pull out a turnip. I go, welcome to the group, and I hand her the turnip.
She takes it. She just begins to start playing with the turnip as if it's a toy because, like,
perfect.
you know, yeah,
She's a part of the
group.
group.
Before, she doesn't want it now. You threw it under the bed at her. She didn't want it then.
Silent, anything you want to do while they're kind of so across the table? You can see Feilani and Ignatius having a discussion over the top of a, just like classic 1985 to 1995 parenting. They're arguing like right over top of their kid. You know what I mean?
I'm standing on a stool. I'm standing on a stool to get eye to eye with Feilani because.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm like slowly getting higher and higher and higher. And pretty soon I'll just be over the top of the table.
Does anybody in the bar look like they're in any kind of distress or injured or anything like that? I mean, I would be interested.
I would say
like...
it's the wagon train. You do see, based on this, that Pete's body is being, moved towards a cottage north of town. Like outside the window of this place, you see, Sister Gariel moving Daisy and Daryl, and they're moving like towards this cottage to across town. There's a steepled church, across the street from it, and they move. You just see her kind of move from distance. In terms of like you wanting to take care of someone, like that's kind of. Other than that, it's just everybody seems fine. I
would probably then just look at the papers that Brody has just to peruse through the different, offerings, just to sort of get a mental picture of all the stuff going on.
Yep. So you see the message from Kara saying she'll be back from patrol. Someone go check on Umberto, and you heard of Umberto because he left ahead of you guys to go search for something. He's like an archaeologist or something. The pesky priests of Talos. This one seems like a super side quest. You know what I mean? Like, hey, go check on the windmill. We saw one of those old boars farting around. And then, hey, someone go check on the loggers camp. Like they used to come back like every couple like weeks for resupply. They should have been back a couple days ago, but they haven't returned.
Sounds good.
Hey, Viva Tara, man, we haven't seen you in a while. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, and then let's see who has it. Cervantes.
Oh, I'm interacting with I'm laughing at
Gotcha.
the fake father mother.
You're scrolling through the chat and hitting X on every interaction. You're like, skip the tavern, skip the tavern, skip the tavern, skip the tavern.
Like I'm just like I need to go talk to Darren. Do you guys want to go talk
Gotcha.
to? I know. Faylani wanted to go to talk to Darren with me.
Okay.
I'm
Anybody
not.
else want to pick up on any conversations or listening or yeah, because there's a heated discussion about business kind of back here. Anybody care about that?
I,
There's
I think I'm gonna have Slinky kind of move off after hearing that first part of that other conversation, then go pick up on that other one.
okay, so the other silent conversation.
Yes, the first
Okay.
one you mentioned before.
Now Jamna also looks like a pretty experienced rogue. Probably more action than, just on your experience than like Ignatius. Well, Ignatius has claimed to have had, but like she looks like she's been in a few scraps before. And she's talking to someone who's got like the same kind of cachet, but like maybe her leader is Halia. But anyways, go ahead and make that stealth roll. This one will be at advantage because
That would be 17.
ooh, okay. Um, so Jama doesn't pick up on it, but as you go over there, you start hearing things about they're discussing a failed enterprise, um, something that they were trying to do to get this place called Minex, their business there, on par with a place called Barthen's or the White Wheel. There's two other big competitors in the area. So like, this is a loss. We'll have to reopen the Wave Echo caves or something along those lines. We'll have to get Gundrun and Nundro down here to re-excavate the mines and get it open again because Minex not getting the supplies that we were supposed to get seem to have failed. But if we can get up to this loggers camp, maybe we can finders keepers some of those supplies. We'll see. But it's like a nefarious conversation. And
Okay.
then as they start mentioning finders keeper, the older the one that's kind of taller, the human, like looks directly at the spot where Slinky is, like looks over, and then you see her rub her wrist.
I'm gonna, as soon as I see her do that, I'm gonna blink him out.
Yep. She immediately rubs her wrist, and you see a winged snake, like, kind of curl up and like get on her shoulder.
Okay.
And then they get up and they move to one of the booths.
Okay.
You guys eventually start hearing loudly Howie, Don John Raskin, and this other guy they're calling Harbin. They discuss like there's not that many supplies that got here from Barthen's or to get to Barthen's, and they discuss like, well, in half of our supplies we're supposed to go up to this loggers camp. And Don John Raskin, you can hear him getting like upset. He's like, I'm not going. I'm not. Last time I had up there, I was attacked by were rats in the general vicinity. I'll have to wait for those to be for those supplies to return. And he kind of sits down. They're just kind of going back and forth about this loggers camp being an issue. But subject to that.
What did you say?
Anybody
Her name was Jamba and Halia?
Jamna,
Oh, Jamna.
Jamna, Jamna, Jamna.
And Halia?
Yes. ROUSs.
They have some of my gold. I lost at poker to them, but that's fine.
You guys do have, but you do notice they didn't really care about the dude that died. They're talking about a failed enterprise, but like before they went into that, you could tell that her 17 matched your 17, and we're like, someone's eavesdropping on us.
All right.
Dead air 3,000, dead air 4,000. What would you guys like to do?
What time of day is it?
You guys are eating lunch. You guys are hanging out there, probably listening to stuff, arguing over who's gonna, how you guys are gonna deal with an 8-year-old child that you guys found along the road. Um, it's been an hour and a half or so. It's still noon.
Cervantes. I'm gonna kind of lean in and kind of whisper and Cervantes. Jamna and her friend Halia were talking about heading up to the loggers camp and trying to claim some gear and equipment and take it for themselves. And maybe that's someplace we ought to head first.
Well, why don't we head up there now?
I'm fine with that. I'm pretty much done eating.
I mean, we could always talk to Darren on the way, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Should we get that last dog? Maybe that puppy. Maybe it's something that Jenny can keep her occupied if something happens.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
I think that is exactly what this group needs is a puppy.
yeah. A puppy and Jenny. Yeah.
And a child, yes. What else can we get?
Okay. Yeah.
An ostrich?
Oh
egg to
my
keep safe?
god.
We
So
need
the
an
two of you
ostrich
guys
egg to
walk
keep safe.
outside. Is that you guys going towards the box of puppies?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yes. Okay. Yes.
Listen. I'm just playing to my 6 wisdom.
Okay. All right.
The ugliest puppy
Playing
ever
it
is in that
very
box,
well.
right?
There's not. Just like Ash that you have, there's one puppy left. Skylar,
Yes.
describe Ash as a puppy.
Well, he was a
Three-legged
year old
puppy.
when I got him, so
Blind.
Yeah. You hear this dog just barking. Yep. And clearly there's about 12 puppies in there, and this dog can bark for 12 hours without a cough drop, and is just sitting there like, yeah.
I just go, perfect, and I just grab him by the scruff, and these are free puppies, right?
100%.
Free. I just grab him by the scruff, and I go, you'll be perfect, and I just
Ginny just runs out of you hear Ginny like there's a dog, it just like runs out and just grabs this puppy and just like I don't know how this is gonna work out or how I entered or allowed this to happen, but
What if
you guys now have a puppy and an 8-year-old child in your party. This is gonna work out great.
Hey.
Feilani has seen everything that has transpired. He immediately turns around and walks where we're going. Doesn't say a word.
Okay. Fantastic. So you guys all kind of went outside?
Yeah.
I don't think we can take a puppy with us.
Let me get this straight. We don't have horses. We don't have a carriage. We have an 8-year-old.
I have a horse.
Okay. We don't have horses. But we have an 8-year-old and a puppy to take on a trip to a logger camp, right?
I had a horse as well.
2 horses.
All right. This is working out great, everyone.
I do need to go. I do need to go buy a shield. I will say that I need to buy a shield before we head out of town, and head to. I think we should figure out transportation. I need to buy a shield. We go see Darren, and then head out of town, ahead of Jamna and Halia.
Ignatius, as you walk out, everybody kind of fumbles outside. You see Ginny just elated that there's a puppy, right? She's feeding the puppy turnips. The puppy loves turnips. Everything is just fantastic in this scene. Nothing could go wrong in the next 2.5 hours. Someone tugs your sleeve, and it's Jamna, and she asks you if you'll come and sit down with her and Halia.
Well, is this the gnome?
Yep.
Ah, shit. Well, I was actually about to do some parenting, but like, okay, never mind. Parenting can wait. What do you got for me?
Oh, I had an extraordinary opportunity. And he's like, if you don't mind, and they sit down and they let you have the outside. Jamna scoots in, and she introduced you again. She's like, so sorry for all that has transpired in our trip to
They're both gnomes.
Vandal. Huh? One's a so the female human's talking to you directly as
Oh,
like
there's a human too.
yeah, and Jamna's the gnome.
Okay.
Um, I looked in and am very aware of a little bit of your background, and I was wondering if maybe our shared interests could be combined here. You see, we could cut you in on a little bit of our business here in Fandolin if you're interested, if you plan on staying here long or need someone to look after
Wait.
your child.
Wait. No, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. How do you even know my background?
Oh, Ignatius, I have a lot of um, friends that are the guards in the prison that you were held in. I'm checking. 80 murders or something? That's incredible. That's incredible. And we haven't seen you at all. She kind of lifts up her sleeve that you can see tattoos of snakes. Um, and like there's like like banded all sorts of like arm sleeve stuff. The closer you get to her, she seems kind of old, but she looks a lot like younger as she begins to like intensely, speak to you. She's like, "Have you heard of an organization called?" And she looks around. She's like, "The Centarum."
I look very serious at her, and then just nod.
You wouldn't happen to be affiliated with a troublesome group like that, would you? Or, or, or would you have any interest in being affiliated with a group like that?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, ladies, and I can tell you like a man that's honest with you,
We do.
I have done some work with the Suns before
Hmm, That's
on the
amazing.
coast of the Moon Sea.
Incredible that I wouldn't have heard about that. But
It was
of
a,
course
it
I
was
believe you.
it was
Of
a
course.
smuggling operation, and let me be the first to tell you, when I lead such an operation for individuals that you've mentioned, I do it well, and you would never hear of it.
Well, I have a proposition for you, if you'd like. And it comes with maybe supplies. It comes with a little bit of influence. If you'd like to be, a little bit more upstanding, potentially, with that organization.
Well, I think of myself more like a hired gun, well, a hired bow. But
Absolutely.
in this case, uh, there's no harm in taking a look further into what you're proposing here.
That's fantastic. If you could, and we've run into a little bit of trouble ourselves. If you could, and if you happen to find yourself into this loggers camp, well, there is a rule in the frontier that, well, if maybe those supplies have run aground or they don't have masters anymore, well, if you run across it first, it just happens to be yours. and you can deal with it however you wish. Now, if
I'm
those
aware of this code. I believe it's called the Finders Keepers.
finders keepers, absolutely, absolutely. That's interesting. And you see, Jamna is like clearly more on the hired gun assassination side of whatever's going on here. She's just, drinking. She's, uh, yes, that's exactly what I mean. And if you'd like to be a member of this organization and maybe those supplies return to our store called Minex, um, we would reward you with the influence of the Zentarum and its very powerful reach. I can tell you that.
Oh, I'm aware of its reach. Some might even call it a reach around.
Oh, okay, okay. That's on a whole different, market that the Zentarum may or may not be involved in. But here we're more in the trading of goods and other, markets. But
Absolutely.
Vivian Ward,
I don't know what you think I'm talking about here, ladies, but that's where I'm going. I don't think you're catching what I'm putting down.
okay. Yes, yes. So, do you think that you could be our savior?
Oh, believe me, I'm no one's savior.
Jama? She just looks over and she's like, as halflings go, I think he'll do a good job. And I tell you what, and she pulls out a dagger, and she's like, "You come back with those supplies. This is yours." And you see a dagger made of bone, right? And inside of it's got like a slit to put like poison all the way down in it. It's a dagger of venom, right? And she just like closes her hands and she's like,
She's like closing it. I'm like reaching for it. Like, well, can I just see it?
And this is yours.
Well, it's not though. You just took it away from me.
If you return with the goods, and you'll probably have to convince some of your party that that it
Oh,
needs
don't
to
worry
go.
about that.
That's
Don't
on
worry
you.
about that.
Fantastic.
They have the utmost trust in me.
And you have our word that there will be no trouble to that child if she remains in this town.
See? And I'm just staring at her pointy ears.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she's staring at your rounded ears. I don't know.
The child guarantees me a non-fireball attack, though, if she's beside me, you see.
Oh, you haven't played Dungeons and Dragons. With this DM.
A child and a puppy, I feel like we can't possibly get fireballed.
There's fake child and fake puppy. Anybody watching this, it's fake child, fake puppy.
Every fireball will be headed our way.
Yeah. And she's just like, listen, round ear. Like, I think this is that's really tap dancing a line there. I gotta dial that one back. Like, listen around here. Like, you need to.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that kind of did something for me when you called me that.
There is a good tension between Jamna Ignatius. You know what I mean? The whole like, fight make out scene. You know what I mean? Like, but she's kind of just being like bad at you right now.
Okay.
Hi, Jeff.
Okay, so I get you your supplies.
Yep. So for all intents and purposes,
Is your
to wrap
shop
this
is
up,
your
I'm
is the shop
basically
here in
asking
town?
you- Huh?
Is her shop here in town?
Yes. There is there was a shop that looks a little run down.
Well, I'm just
It
gonna say to her,
clearly looks like
they'll know. The people around here will know if I give you the goods. What are the goods?
camp supplies. This is a frontier
Camp
town.
supplies? Like
Camp
tents and
supplies.
pots?
There's pickaxes, there's all sorts of things for frontiersmen to use. So this is like a frontier town, and it's basically full of like
Okay,
resupply
then
gear.
just put it on a level here for me. What do the Zents want with pots and pans?
Well, we need people to be able to work some mines of our own, and we don't have those resources right now. Once
Well,
we get the mines back
I know what
open,
the
we're
Zents
gonna want
mean by
those
work
supplies.
mines.
Hmm?
I know what the Zents mean by work mines. I know
You
what that.
know, but does Ignatius know?
I
Yeah,
feel like even if Ignatius doesn't, he still lets on that he does.
yeah. You
All
also
right.
know that the Zentarum aren't as don't have the prowess they used to have, like back in the day. They've been kind of crippled by this group called the White Wheel, who are kind of like the Harpers. The Harpers' new image is like the White Wheel, and they're competing against them. So right now, in terms of the Harpers versus the Zents thing, the Harpers are like in the lead.
All right. It's a deal. I'm coming back for that dagger.
She's like, "It's yours as soon as those supplies show up and we can get them to the cave." So the rest of the party, you're outside. Um, for all intents and purposes, you are in a member of the Zentarum, like flat out. So if you go into the Dungeon Master's Guide and look up, what level you are, you're at, you know what I mean? Like you're at entry level Zent, which is fantastic. I have never had somebody go into Phandalin and become a Zent. This is great.
I thought
All right.
Petey was a Zent.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He died. Yeah. You're the only
Listen, I
living
haven't
member
signed
of
my
the
life
Zent.
away yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh, because you haven't turned the supplies in. So outside, the rest of the party's there. You see Sister Gariel walking away from this cottage. You see a taller man with long blonde hair, kind of working in a shop in and around. Can you bring that down like a quarter?
Yeah, that just got loud.
I think every time you switch it, it starts at like some level or whatever. Um, anyways, uh, you see Sister Gariel kind of walk out of the fence. I'll switch camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two. Where did that go? Did we switch? Oh yeah, see the lovely village? We're doing lovely village things. So you see that cottage with a blue roof in the background.
So cute.
Huh? Yeah.
I said it's so cute.
Yeah. Uh, She walks out and she breaks off to the left. You see another green roof place that looks like it's got like a white turtle shell on it, and it's got antlers coming out of the turtle shell for some reason. She flips a sign over that says "open," and she goes in there. Off to the right hand side of it is a pink stone with bushes around it, looking like some sort of shrine. But you get the sense from what people are saying that like Darren's cottage is in that direction.
Now, I had ordered, before we left, some studded leather armor, and you said it should be ready possibly when we got to Phandalin. Do I pick it up from the White Wheel?
When you return,
Well, I mean, so when we come back from our little outing, is that what you're saying?
yeah, be at the White Wheel.
Okay.
But you can definitely do some shopping here. You did shopping the last time you were here? Oh,
Well,
yeah. You can go to the White
Before
Wheel.
we left,
Yeah. You can go to this
and I
White
had
Wheel.
ordered it,
see-
and they said you said she would have it fitted for me and ready when we got here.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
So you want to head to the White Wheel?
Yep.
All right. Cervantes, where you want to go?
I'm gonna go to the White Wheel with him because I need to buy a shield.
Okay.
I also ordered
Uh,
something at the White Wheel, so I'm going with them.
Silas?
Am I able to talk to Sister Gariel at all? Or is she
Yeah,
busy?
she's no less than like 50 meters from you. There's this big, piazza traffic circle looking thing where the farmers market. That's the word I was looking for. Weekend market. What the fuck is that? There's a farmer.
Constructed everything.
Yeah. I cannot vocabulary on a Wednesday after talking my 50,000 words for, you know what I mean? Like, so anyway, yeah, you see her there. It's like a 7 foot tall, little you think of like a barista shack looking thing. There's also a little wooden sign hanging outside of it, and off to the right hand side, like if you look at this, it kind of looks like a shrine of Timora, but it's like nearly attached to the little cafe looking thing. You want to head that way?
Yeah.
This is my soft knife hand. This is my it's a very diluted knife hand. You want to go that way? Would you like to go that way? Sorry. And Feilani, where would you like to go? Ignatius is having a
Um,
conversation right now.
I'm going to the White Wheel as well because I did order something as well before we left for Phandalin.
Ginny is playing with a puppy in the middle of this like grassy square area. There's a couple other kids there. She ends up, playing with the puppy with some of those kids. You want to leave her there?
She's
I'd be
Ignatius'
happy
problem.
I'll be happy to take her with me. I'm outside talking to another clearing.
There wasn't even a finger wave on that.
No, 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 no. Ignatius'
Then
problem.
Ignatius, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I guess I just come outside.
Okay.
And I'll go talk to Jenny.
Okay. And she's like, I named him Ash. And she's just like, and Ash is like, just barking its face off. And she starts barking back at it, and they're having a great time. She's playing tuggy with you know what I mean? Like, it's just loud, right?
I'll be like,
playing tuggy
the
with
truth of the matter is, the road is no place for a puppy.
just, just the
So-
water word.
I mean, I don't want to break you and Ash up. There's clearly a bond happening here. But maybe you should stay in the town with Ash then.
Where do you live? And she starts looking for your house. You know what I mean? She's like,
Well, I'm sort of between houses right now. But, the innkeeper said they'd keep you.
it's like, okay. So this is what's happening, and then we'll kind of turn the page. Ginny's having a meltdown because you know what I mean. She's very bonded to you. You'll need some sort of like persuasion check handoff to kind of make that kind of occur with someone that you select to be a good caretaker. She's not having it with the bar folks. That was like a bad scene. But
Great.
who's going to the White Wheel? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me bring up the White Wheel. So many pages of notes. Notes. Who runs the White Wheel now? Darthag Ulgar.
Oh yeah, it's Darthag. Hell yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So like, you guys open up. So the White Wheel itself. Actually, I have a White Wheel. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Just so you guys kind of. Looks like so.
It's a magical place. It just drops down from the sky when you need it.
Yeah, you're like, where's the White Wheel? It shows up. Oh, there's a lot in this town. There's about 50 buildings here. It used to be probably like 2 years ago, like a wider kind of ghost town thing, and then, you begin hearing that this cave brought a lot of resources to the town. The cave has since, gone under, and now there's this booming town, and now there's a lot of empty buildings here because a lot of people are like leaving. But there are some, decent 2-3 story buildings that some rich miner folks had purchased. So you guys open the White Wheel, and Darthag Ulgar meets you guys there. He's wearing kind of faded white robes, like they used to be nice and clean and white at one point in time, but you can tell he's been in this town kind of for a while. He does have much like this black band here, it's a white tattoo around his hands. A very nondescript desk, like tableau in front of you guys, where you come in. There's not a whole lot of things on the walls. It looks like things are behind a curtain, behind him. And he's just like, hey. He looks at you guys and he's like, ha ha, you guys have made it. I see. How can I help you?
Hail, fine merchant of arms and absurdly underpriced destiny. I am Sir Cervantes the Twice Blessed, bearer of the sacred code, unofficial paladin of the people, and occasional slayer of evil, and rodents of unusual size. I seek gear worthy of valor, scandal, and heroic misinterpretation. What have you for a knight of questionable paperwork, but unquestionable heart?
And I'm Brody, and I like snakes.
That's awesome. And, you know, Darth just starts laughing at that at this point, and he's just like, "Oh, welcome to the White Wheel." And I see, you guys, he kind of gives you like a look of, are you here on business or you're looking to buy supplies? Like he's not sure who you
Yes.
guys at this
Yes.
point. Yes. Oh, then how can I help you? What would you like?
I need a fine shield.
Shield?
Yeah, I just need a fine shield. I have come to realize that I cannot protect my friends as well as I should, and I need a fine shield. What do you have
You
in
have a
terms
fine
of fine shields?
Fine shield it is. So for 10 gold pieces, he goes back and he's like, we got a buckler that's about this big. It's wooden, for 2 gold pieces, a normal, a knight's kite shield, 10 gold pieces. And, like, yeah,
Kite shield would be perfect. With the
okay, and
could you
wraps
paint
it.
a turnip on it?
I don't do the painting, but if you return in a couple weeks, I could put a turnip on this.
Ah, no, I need the shield more than the turnip. Ah, that's fine.
Yeah. Hands you a shield, and he gives you like, hey, there's an artist down the street for a gold piece that would have this thing have a turnip painted on it overnight. If you NPC name across the
Perfect.
street. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I look at Phelan and I go, "You love it." I just walk out the door with my new shield.
I just don't know if I want to be associated with a guy who walks around with a turnip on his shield. It's just gonna cause so much unwanted attention.
Yeah, but the attention is on him. It's not on us.
I'll just have to make sure I walk at least 10 feet behind him, just so people
Why
don't
don't you guys
associate
want
me with
attention
him.
on you? He's listening. He's like, what are you guys on some secret mission?
No,
No,
no.
I just don't want people to associate me with him, a guy carrying around a shield with the turnip on it. Don't you think
There are
that's
worse
odd?
symbols on shields than turnips these days. But sure.
Well, I've yet
Matter of
to
fact-
see anything as strange as a turnip.
Well, maybe someday it'll be famous. A lot of famous adventurers have come through here. So what brings you guys to Vandalin?
Well, I put in an order before we came here. I was looking for a scimitar to be made that matches my staff.
Oh, you all came from the Drunken Duck. You're the new adventurers from Stronghold. Why didn't you say? Huh, that would have been a 10% discount from that man. And he hands you Phelani a gold piece from that was Cervantes' gold piece. He's like, oh,
Oh, I
Oh.
totally put that in my pocket.
yeah.
I'm
He's like,
oblivious. I'm absolutely
You
oblivious.
guys you've all made it. Well, fantastic. And he underneath
Oh, we didn't all
the
make it.
counter was the word I was looking for, not tableau. Drops a satchel of 30 gold pieces, and just like he hands it to you, Brody, and he's like, on behalf of the White Wheel and our friends of the Harp, who we are dearly associated with, we appreciate you bringing those supplies here. And I heard that you guys ran into some poor luck.
Yeah.
If you want to call dying poor luck, sure.
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
Pete.
but north of the Mare of Dead Men, things do get rather difficult here in the frontier.
Yeah, Sir Pete didn't make it, and Lady Lady Gariel's not doing. She's not in high spirits. I think you can understand that.
Well, he walks up and he closes a shutter, closes another shutter to the place, and flips the sign to closed. Ignatius, where do you want to go? You're out there arguing which direction you want to go because Silas is heading. Did you want to come in here as well?
No,
Okay.
if I'm alone for a moment and while the kid's throwing the tantrum, I'm gonna look down at the rose in my hand, and I'm like, you could help a little bit here. Just where do I leave her?
Perfect. Okay. Let me think some improv on that one for just a second. I'm going to go back to the white wheel. He
Okay.
closes the door. He closes these like he flips the thing and like those weird blinds. You know what I mean? They shut. And he's like, "Look, it seems words are coming in about some strange activity from Neverwinter. I'm not sure. Um, ourselves, the organization combined with the Harpers, are running out of, let's say, um, solid, trustworthy intelligence. Um, I can offer you, if you could help us, a position within the Harpers, if you'd like. One of our agents has gone north with this individual Umberto. Umberto was up in arms about some sort of archaeological dig that has something to do with the governance of Neverwinter and whether or not Never Ember is actually the rightful ruler of Neverwinter. But regardless, our dear friend Leosin has taken it upon himself as an experienced adventurer to go with this Umberto um, to the north on this quest. They met him here. Umberto came with some other folks as well. I think her name was, I'm, I might get this wrong, Indira, a very wealthy lady that went to check on some property up in the Sword Mountains to some chateau or vineyard or tower or something like that. But they kind of parted ways. Uh, we we would appreciate now that Kara's gone and our resources being spread out from either the wars with Tiamat or the wars with the giants of fresh new goodly members into the Harpers, if you would. It would you'd get discounts in towns at the White Wheel, and in the end, you'd keep the Forgotten's Realm a safe place.
What what are the qualifications or requirements of joining?
Well, to be fair, keeping the balance in the world, making
Balance.
sure that information that is collected is used towards a goodly means is important. Helping the world find out what's going on up north and stemming another world-ending event from occurring again. Working together as, you know, as a network of friends and companions and adventurers.
Is i- i- is this a lifetime commitment?
Well, you know,
I mean, it sounds like it
I think
should
if
be.
you at your level, you know what I mean? No, but if you want to rise into the ranks, you would swear an oath into the Harpers, but we don't have to go down that path now. Becoming a full Harper would, of course, get you, you know, like basically get you more gear and things like that.
Hmm.
But he brings out studded leather armor for you, you know what I mean, and then lays down a scimitar. It's jeweled, you know, whatever you describe non-magical. I will say that you know it is styled like very nicely.
Yeah, I would have had asked for it to be designed sort of, in a snake motif.
Okay, yep, that's you know it had arrived magically somehow. Um, there's like some sort of like I don't know, like a Faraday box type of situation where
Hmm.
he opens up a thing and you know what I mean? Like he can reach into water deep and like pull it out, you know?
Cool. All right. So I'm certainly intrigued by the offer of the Harpers. It's not something I had ever considered, although I don't know whether, what I actually considered in terms of membership in any organization, but I will pledge to you now that I will help you out, and um, I will pledge to try to help, and do good, whether I'm a full member or not.
Well, it seems that you're already a Harper and you don't know. And he hands you a scroll, and he's like, if you're ever in trouble, he's like, this is a scroll of message. It'll make it straight to me.
Okay.
If you hear anything, if you're about to pass away, or if you see something, please use this as a last measure. Let's not use this lightly. And how about you, Feilani?
I will have to decline. I do have my own personal mission that I have
Fantastic.
that is first and foremost. But thank you for the offer, but I will have to politely decline. I thank you for my
Yeah.
very beautifully crafted weapon.
You seem more inclined to nature, and there's actually a representative of the Emerald Enclave here with us today. If you see Darren, what's his name? Darren Winterhound. He's with Falcon. He's probably leaving in the morning, but
Where is he located?
he was in the, describes to you. He was the guy that was talking to Falcon. He was the dude with like
Gotcha. Yes, I will. I guess I will have to go back and have a conversation with him.
But yeah, so you guys got your gear, and then he opens up the blinds and he's like, "Please, anything that you can find out on your way." Are you assisting with the loggers camp adventure? I'm not to say that I was spying, but we're always spying here. I saw you grab stuff off the drop board. Are you guys heading north into the Neverwinter forests?
Yeah, that is the plan. We are heading up to the logger camp and to try to find out, what happened. And I hear they, whether or not they disappeared, they haven't come back in quite a long time.
Umberto was headed towards the loggers camp as well. Said he needed to get to the Neverwinter River. Was the first spot on his map to get him to where he needed to go, to some sort of shrine. I'm not sure, but
And
Darren would
when did
probably
you,
know best. And he points and sees Cervantes like walking, straight down the dirt road towards wherever that is, and then which cuts off to, and you guys end up your conversation. You begin to like walk out there as well. And Silith, you make it up to, as you get closer, you see a sign. Oh, my camera just got a mind of its own. You see a sign that says Shellbucks. And then Sister Gabriel's like, "Hey, welcome." She's like, "Welcome to Shellbucks. We're a simple, coffee breweries, believe it or not, invented by the great Manu from a long, long time ago." And you see a sign that's just like regular coffee, a Doppio, and then a Cthulhu's Revenge on the bottom of it. It's like two gold pieces, and then there's almost like a MA, for mature audiences. Don't take this drink lightly. And she's just like, "Yeah, I'm happy to serve you. We need to have some sort of income. The Shrine of Timora doesn't bring in a lot, so to keep that shrine nice and keen, how can I help you?"
I was just seeing how you were doing now that we're back in town. I'll definitely take one of the Cthulhu's Revenge or whatever you said.
Oh, maybe not. It does
Yeah.
give you a frightful rage, and then
Oh.
lots of strong energy, and then a fierce exhaustion afterwards. But
Oh.
it does get you to where you want to be. You interested in it now? Maybe I'll take one with you.
Yeah, I'll take one with me, and then I'll take a regular for now.
Okay. Yep. So she's like, "That'll be a gold piece."
Yeah.
Okay, and you see her, she's like really, like, you see the steam forcing something in. There's some sort of like black, ink or something that she kind of swirls around in it. She's like, "This is special ink. I can't even describe it." And it's brewing it, and then she kind of shows you while it's being made. She shows you the shrine to Timora. It's a pink stone. It's got a stained glass wheel that can spin, and on the back side of the wheel against the stone is a mirror, so you kind of see your face turning red, blue, green, purple, yellow. You know what I mean? Like it's just a simple shrine, and then there's just like a little offering plate like at the bottom of it, and she's just like, oh, like maybe you'll get a blessing from Lady Luck
I
while you're at
definitely
it.
do a little prayer and put a gold piece in there too.
Yep. Yep. If you spin the wheel and look at it, you'll feel as a priest of Timora, you have bless on you for the next. We'll say if you do an offering on there, you'll have it for the next like day.
Excellent.
Yep. She's
And
like,
yeah,
oh, Timora's luck. Um, no one ever gets that on the first try.
I mean, a follower of Timora would, of course. She looks down on us, right?
That is true. So, what brings you to Fandolin, and where are you going now?
I think we're possibly going to go to the loggers camp to check that out while we're just kind of waiting around to see what the situation is around here, kind of getting settled. Now that we're up here, we definitely want to help.
Well, there's plenty to help with. I'll tell you that. This town, and she points at like that store called Minex, and it's got a gigantic hole in it. She's like, this town's seen everything from beholders to red dragons to red brand, thieves to white dragons, and there's even speak of some sort of another dragon in the presence, and some witch up in the mountain. She points up to this Matterhorn-looking peak. She's like, and points up, to this one snow-capped peak of the Sword Mountains. She's like, there's witches and another adventure. She looks at you, and she's, like as chapter 3, the epilogue sign kind of rolls through, and she waves at Cervantes as he walks towards the cottage. She's like, it looks like Darren's gonna intern Sir Pete and maybe take him to Helm's Hold, to the north, where the rest of Pete's organization is at.
Yeah, my heart goes out to you. It's really missed.
I'm okay. What are you guys gonna do with that little girl? Does she need someone to watch after her?
So I was gonna ask you about that. The bar didn't seem to be the right place for the child, perhaps. I mean, that's sort of a bad, story. I think. What, do you have any
Yes.
connections or any thoughts?
Yes, of course. And I could have her acolyte for us as well. I sometimes, and she points at this chapel to Tyr off to the side with a big bell. Sometimes the priest of Tyr, who's been gone for some time, uh, allows us to, hold services in there.
I mean, I would feel more comfortable with her, you know, doing that kind of thing, keeping occupied, than serving drinks and cleaning tables at a bar. That seems, that doesn't seem right.
Well,
So perhaps, yeah, that would be great if perhaps we could have you, you know, watch over
I
her
could,
while we.
yeah, I could also work up the adoption papers for Ignatius while you guys are gone.
That would be fantastic.
Perfect.
I'll get on that. I'll get on that. I mean,
I
by
I hand
by the
I hand
rules
her
of finders keepers,
I hand her another gold for that.
well, many blessings of Timora upon you. And she's like, now look, as she squeezes your hand, she's like, she's like, there was another gnome that came into town, an archaeologist looking for the Shrine of Savras. The Shrine of Savras has been gone and abandoned for a long time. It hasn't been found, and I don't think it's in the Neverwinter Forest, but that's where he went for some reason, following some map. Um, but that being said, if you find the Shrine of Savras, and we ever run into any creatures like you just had, it wouldn't be bad to take from the old offerings and bring back some of those diamonds.
Absolutely.
for the greater good.
For the greater good.
For the greater good. And Cervantes, you begin like you move onto pea gravel and stone, and you find your way. You see a man like not necessarily mummifying, but you know what I mean? Like he's wrapping up, and Pete is in like packaged real tight in the back of a wagon, and you can see him sitting up gear there, and kind of time is ephemeral here in this kind of scene, so he's kind of working on him, and you see the shield of the Order of the Gauntlet like on his chest, with a sword as well, like so kind of like the sword is up at like the lips of what I mean, Sir Pete, and the shield lays on his chest as well.
Yeah, as I'm walking up, he just hears me finishing saying, it's like, and carry it mildly into inconvenient danger, and I stop and I look at Sir Dude, and I go and I look up at, is it Darren or Delan, Winterhound?
No, Darren. I know there's a Daylan and a Darren. It confuses the shit out of me too.
Gotcha.
Yes, Darren, yeah.
Is he okay? So it's Darren. Is he a paladin with?
Yeah, so this dude, yeah, you can roll an insight check, but
Well,
he's a pretty
I just
renowned
you said
paladin. Yeah.
you said Winterhound, so I was like, is this the same?
No, it's Darren. This is Darren Ettermoth.
Okay,
Ettermoth.
gotcha. So I'll just put my hand on the Sir Dude's shoulder. It's like he was a great guide for us, and may Tyr bring him great luck into the afterlife.
You know what I mean? And you see him clutch a holy symbol that's a Tyr holy symbol himself, and he's just like, it's not often that someone who follows Tyr comes to Phandalin, other than some great adventurers in the past. Thank you for bringing him home. I intend on taking him to Helm's Hold. It's a keep, a monastery for priests of Helm. His order and the Order of the Gauntlet, I guess, have fled Neverwinter for one reason or another. I intend to find out why. But he wanted to be interned there. He wants to be interned with his brothers. But I truly do appreciate you and your efforts. I feel like maybe your calling is to be a religious member or a fighter of Tyr. Maybe even a paladin yourself someday.
I fancy myself a paladin already. Sir Cervantes, the twice blessed.
As he grabs and shakes your hand, and he's like, you could be a paladin someday. It's clearly like, like if there's a zone of truth that just whoosh, flows through you. You know what I mean? He's probably like level 5, level 6. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So he's got some skills. Yeah.
I absolutely think I'm a paladin in here.
Yeah. Well, there are priests, and there are fighters, and there are paladins, all members of the Order of the Gauntlet. If you find yourself being a goodly member of society who wants to protect the weak and innocent and bring justice to those that deserve it, both in a good way and keeping the balance in the world, then I think if you have those interests, I'd be happy to steer you on that path.
I reach up, and what's always hanging right here is a belt buckle that I at least think belonged to Sir Timothy, and I go, well, by the good graces of Sir Timothy, should I get to raise to the level of him, I will, it will be a great honor to serve Faerun as in the shadow of Sir Timothy.
So this guy looks at you and he's like, I kind of like vision him as like, Yellowstone Kevin Costner. You know what I mean? With like a little bit like longer hair, and he's just like, so where do you go next? Where
Uh,
does Tyr take you?
we're off to the logger camp. But I wanted to ask about Umberto. He was heading that direction. I was told that you would have some information about what he was looking for.
He mentioned on some sort of quest about uh, looking for old paladin internments, uh, ancient, something along the lines of uh, Never Ember, Never Ember's birthright not necessarily being clear. He thinks that there's a clue somewhere in the Shrine of Sabras. He mentioned folks coming after him about secrets and having to try to keep it as secret as possible when he finds it. He was accompanied by a brave harper named Leofson. The shrine itself, I'm not sure where it is. I do know that that there used to be a pilgrimage of knights that would leave Neverwinter itself down the Neverwinter River, which is where the loggers camp is. And if you follow it to a certain place, you will make it to the Shrine of Sabras. It's interesting that you're going to the logger camp because they haven't returned in some time. I feel like destiny is putting you on a path. But Umberto himself, he seemed like a goodly person.
With a name like Umberto, I
Oh,
believe
Little
that.
Bones, thanks for the raid. Yeah.
Welcome, Raiders.
Thanks, Bones. Whoa, thank you guys so much. So you intend on going to the loggers camp?
Absolutely. We have to figure out what's happened there. Obviously.
And you intend on following the path of, Sir Timothy's path of, the Order of the Gauntlet and potentially a Paladin of Tyr?
Absolutely. If Sir Timothy did it, that's what I would like to do. That is my calling.
Like,
that is my blessing.
it's like, very well. Here's what I would like, if you don't mind. He's like, give me that shield with the turnip on it.
Oh, there's no turnip on it right now, but it's like I'll hand it
There
over
is.
to him.
There is. Stay with me on this.
Sure.
He takes the shield with the turnip and he lays it next to Pete. And he hands you Pete's shield. He hands it back to you and he's like, this is the shield of a strong, upstanding member of the Order of the Gauntlet. If you finish this quest, find this shrine, discover some activities of what's going on with this weather that we're feeling being nefarious. If someday you return to Helm's Hold with this shield, we will be there for you to swear your oath. Your pilgrimage will be complete. But do me a favor. Don't let this shield come in non-dented. Do you understand? It should have the dents of someone bringing justice to this world in a goodly manner. Bring us tales that are worthy of the Order of the Gauntlet and take care of your party.
Oh, there will be tales. And I just go off into without.
Got it.
And I basically give it a salute, and it's like I'll bring this back, and I'll just lots of words and lots of words, and I walk away.
So he's like, if that's the case, he basically just like, to speed up just a tad, like, when you guys take your rests, you'll head north through the Neverwinter Woods. You'll follow this path, that's clearly a logger's path, and you'll go straight down the most common, like, road to, to this camp. It'll take you straight to it. He's like, it used to be full of hobgoblins and all sorts of critters, but, from the giants to the dragons, a lot of them has been flushed out. Why the loggers haven't returned is a little bit beyond me. He's like, I will tell you something, though. These orcs, They used to be part of the Many Arrows tribe. Then they joined the Anchorites of Talos. These roaming orcs seem to be looking for jobs. So now that the Anchorites of Talos are out of power, just be careful when you head through those woods.
Absolute sounds like a great job for the Order of the Gauntlets.
So as this passes by, does anybody else have any last minute things in Fanlin that they want to work on? Obviously, Silas is going to walk up and be like, "Hey, he can either stay. She can either stay at the bar. She can either stay with Sister Gariel. Well, those are the other. Those are the two kind of choices. Where do you guys want Ginny and Ash to go?
I don't give a crap about that dog.
Well,
But
Ginny
Ginny
cares
does.
about the dog.
Well, she won't stay at the bar, so I guess she has to go stay at the nunnery.
She'll be safe there.
She'll be
won't
very well taken care of.
Yeah,
She
she'll be
sees,
cleaning
yeah.
things.
she sees Sister Gariel and sees like a calming person that was with her on that trip, and feels bonded enough. She's like, if you guys come back in the next couple days, this kind of thing, like, please, you know what I mean? Like, please return to me, kind of, is something that she implies as a very young child. Is there anything else
Um,
anybody wants to pick up along the way?
Darthag, how long ago did Umberto head north?
We're back with Darthag. Umberto left maybe a 10-day ago.
And you said he was with someone named Indira, but they
Leo
split.
said, yeah. So Indira and Umberto arrived together. Indira on some sort of. Let me get the name right, since this is the first time we're asking.
A property up in the Sword Mountains.
Yeah, there's some sort of tower with a vineyard or something up there that she was just going to purchase because it's been abandoned. The town needs money. She came in. She was probably Umberto's ride, right? So Umberto's like
Okay.
academia. She was the money. She went up into the mountains with some scouts of hers, some adventurers that would bring her along the way, and Umberto met up with Leosin here and went into the woods.
Okay. All right.
Any more questions before long rest and are finding yourselves along a dirt road?
I would like to go speak to Darren Winterhound, actually, after what was said at the White Wheel.
Fantastic. Yep, you walk in. Well, you see Darren getting up onto a horse, talking to Falcon, and Falcon's about to go like one way, he's about to cowboy the other way. They're having this discussion like, I'm heading that way, and he looks down and he's just like, he can sense you being a druid as you walk up, and he's just like, good morrow. Also, I'll use a voice finally for this one. I haven't used a voice yet. He's like, yeah, good morrow.
Yes, good morrow. I was told to come find you. You would possibly have some answers to some questions that I have.
He hops down off like a thin but tall, sturdy looking brownish horse, and he walks. He's like, come with me, and he walks down like a tree line that's in town, and you guys kind of have a private conversation. He's like, how can Darren Winterhound help you?
Well, I am trying to find two items. Um, it's going to help me with my, personal mission that I have. And I'm wondering if you happen to know any clues to the whereabouts of where they are. I've tried to look in scrolls, I've tried to look in libraries and books, but it's very difficult to find clues about the location of where I can find these or how I can retrieve these items. And I was wondering if you could help me.
Well, if you can help me and nature's quest to keep the balance between any points at this town, the encroachment of towns like this and, where we live, I'd be happy to help you. Clearly, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the warden to the south of here. Uh, Falcon is the warden in this area, but yes, what is it you're looking for?
So I'm looking for a staff, and I'm looking for a ring. It's the staff of the woodlands and the ring of spell storing. I
Well,
need these items to do what I promised that I would finish for a friend.
Staff of the Woodlands itself is presented from the grandfather tree itself when you've done enough for nature as a whole. Members like myself and the Emerald Enclave are blessed with it, at certain times. There's been great druids. Willow has been a great druid. Moriana, who have all had a staff of the woodlands presented in one way or the other, um, uh, from either the Feywild or, but for you personally, if your path is to take you down, a defender of nature, much like myself and Falcon, uh, I would say, in where are you headed next?
We're going to the logger house. That's one of our, side quests that we've decided to take to help out the
Super.
town. Yes. We've taken on a handful of side quests to do here while we wait for someone to arrive. And I decided to ask you about my personal quest since everybody seems to be going on their own personal side quests.
So he basically lays out the fact that he's like, the land is missing wardens. We don't have folks that'll take care of, regions and districts in this area amongst the Emerald Enclave. He's like, if you don't mind, if you can go into the Neverwinter Wood, um, and help protect it on behalf of the Emerald Enclave, um, I will I will go south to Crypt Garden. I'll return within X amount of plot armor amounts of days when you return, and let you know if there's anything that I can find with regards to what you're looking for. Basically, a uh, quid pro quo situation. Like, hey, if you join the Emerald Enclave, you do good things up in Neverwinter Forest. I'll see what I can find out.
I would be happy to be a member of the Enclave.
So he's like, well, when you return, and find out information based on whatever happened to these poor loggers, which they are encroaching pretty heavily on the forest there itself. Uh, Give your assessment on whether the loggers are worthy members of being in the Neverwinter Forest. Maybe the trees are overgrowing. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they do need some deforestation. I don't know, but make your assessment, and please return. And if you can, most importantly, we need to figure out what's going on with the weather and how it's harming our forests.
I can most certainly do that and find out some information and bring it back to you.
I'll find out what I can. You should go. I'll go speak to the trees or some shit. That, you know what I mean? Like, high druids do, and he he walks off into the sunset as well. But just in terms of the stream timing or whatnot, you guys all come together. Some of you guys have been offered, roles into the Order of the Gauntlet, the Harpers, you know what I mean? Like, even the Zentarum. You guys pass the evening with a long rest again. Ginny's well
Before-
taken care of. So is Ash. At Tier, you guys can retroactive anything that you prepped or did, you know what I mean, throughout the evening. And you guys find yourself waking up in the morning. You've got the two horses, and Don John Raskins is with you guys as well. He wants to head up there, because you find out over the evening that Harbin Wester, his brother, is in that town, and he runs the camp. And they want to get those supplies returned here as soon as possible. They have a cart with some supplies as well, just in case the supplies were stolen and didn't make it to the loggers camp, and these guys are starving. So Don John Raskin's with you guys as well, you know, singing his song with his big lamp and stuff like that. And you guys begin to like, you know, there's mist over the grass in the morning. The heat starts to pour in as sun rises in Fanlin in the 80s, 90s degrees again. So it doesn't feel so cool like it did just a few days ago. You guys go down a dirt path, reach the Tribor Trail, which goes like east and west off the high road. If you guys have that map that I sent you earlier, you guys continue almost like a crossroads just built, and you see, you know, decent tracks that like break into the forest itself. You guys get into the forest, and you guys travel on a pretty good clip into the forest itself. Beep, boop, boop. Switching gears. Time check. Does anybody want to take a 5-minute break before we get started? You guys good? You want to keep it? Go for it. Go for it. Let's take a everybody's traveling, you know, down this path, and you know, montage. So everybody gets a free pass for insight and perception just for timing of this evening to move down into the Neverwinter Forest. So we'll see you guys back in, we'll say 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Cool.
Yep.
An open road when you're 3 feet tall. Never thought we'd find a family at all. One roll of the dice, one twist of fate. Now we're side by side. Guess this was our fate. Oh, we bicker, we fight. We don't see eye to eye. But when trouble comes, we're always gonna try. Brothers and sisters who knew we would be a family of heroes. Just wait and see. Wait, are we related? We push, we pull, we stumble and fall. Sometimes it feels like we don't know each other at all. But when the chips are down and we make our stand, together we've got half a chance. Even when the road gets rough and life throws down the odds, we've got each other's backs through every trap and fraud. can try to hide, you can try to flee, but they'll find you no matter where you'll be. Murder badger, it's a sneak attack. Murder badger, out for blood. Murder badger, it's on your face. Murder badger, it's a sneak attack. Murder badger, out for blood. Murder badger, it's on your face. Murder badger, they don't care, they don't share. Murder badger, everywhere they'll tear you bare. There. They were locked up for a reason, but the world ran out of heroes. So now, you roll with what you got, kicking down doors with a holy grin, silver tongues and a dozen sins. Wrong side of justice, right side of fate. No time to ask, we're already late. We ain't your chosen, we ain't your knight, but we shine damn bright when the world ignites. And we roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey. Knight lost his banner but swings just fine. Rogue's got charm and a five-step crime. Druids growling and warlocks curse. Clerics smiling, which is the worst. Call us mad, call us last, but we hit back hard and we hit back fast. We roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey, hey. When the odds look bad, we raise the stakes. When the gods say no, we're the brakes. When the plan goes south, we smile wide. 'Cause no one rides like the ones denied. We roll for trouble, we play to win. Out of the sails and into the spin. We're taking chances, bending fate. The last bad call on heaven's slate. Roll for trouble, that's our cue. You want a miracle? We'll do. Hey. Dungeon born, maybe one or two, but fate don't ask where it found you. Roll for trouble.
Awaken me in shadows deep. From endless night I rise and creep. A stolen soul, forever bound. In your heartbeat I am found. I slept for centuries alone, in dreams of blood upon a throne. But your foolish hands, they touched the key, and now your fate is bound to me. Through darkness I was once set free. Now I drag you into misery. I am the shadow in your sight, the curse that haunts the endless night. Your hero fell beneath my light.
Back right in the middle of that. Ha ha ha. Biscuits and gravy.
Into old Don John Raskins. Years ago, after the eruption of Mount Hotten now, the city of Neverwinter continued to rebuild itself after the destructions wrought by that event. Loggers have set up camps all along this here river. I lose the voice like really fast. where the flows out of Neverwinter Wood, using the river to transport logs to the city. One particular camp, one that we're heading to here in a second, located on the south side of the river, is run by a craven opportunist named Tiber Western. And I tell you what, he's related to that guy trying to become the new mayor. He was ousted a long time ago by the Strongholdians, or the Strongholds of the Duchy of Skyreach. I don't know. You guys are new hotness, they're old and busted.
New
He gets his supplies from the Fandolin, an old Barthen himself, but seems to that supply chain is running dry. Old Tiber has bigger problems of late. It seems like maybe them, maybe some nefarious orcs or somebody probably started messing with him. And you guys are just kind of trucking along, and old Ding Dong Johnson is he's eating a rope of like sausages. You know what I mean? The student classic cartoon, prospector stuff. He's got one of them smoke lantern kind of things, and he's just jingle. He's like a jingle truck. All of his little pots and pans and picks, and like he sings silver and gold the whole way. Yukon Cornelius. He's every stereotype possible of a prospector, but he doesn't have a coin in his pocket. But you guys all left Fandolin and continue on to this loggers camp to see why comms have gone down. You guys, he lets you know, he's like, oh, well, I can feel in my bones we must be getting close to that river. I get the arthritis in my knees when the big old flow of the Neverwinter River gets close to me. And you can feel it, the moisture in the air as he moves up. And there's big, tall, thick Neverwinter pines crackling, and the wind is kind of blowing, and there's a little bit of chill in the air. He's like, once you get underneath here pines, it gets a little bit cooler, but not this cool. Interesting behaviors. I don't know, maybe somebody wants to run a perception check. And he kind of keeps on keeping on.
Is that where the gold is?
Yeah, gold. Yeah. No,
There's gold
the only
in
gold
there.
here is them sweet Neverwinter pines that they drag out of here.
I'm just enthralled by his stories. Like, there's zero perception from me. I'm just
I
like,
will do a perception check.
Okay,
Oh, that is a 24.
goo. So he's just yapping. You're hearing Cervantes kind of, just these soliloquies about turnips and just straight, pompous stuff, like going back and forth. But he's doing his best. Cervantes has the spirit. Ignatius, he's got like two pieces of cloth in his ears, trying to not listen to what's going on, but also trying to perceive. Brody being stoic, kind of behind and looking off to what Cervantes has been up to, and Silas just being like super empathetic, listening and smiling, but he's just getting tired of talking back to Don John Raskins as he's sitting up front. He's almost got like a tension headache from talking. But this is kind of where you guys find yourself in the stack. But Phailani, you're sitting there, and you kind of look ahead, and you see a lot of light on through the trees. Where as you get closer, you can tell that there is some pretty solid deforestation, where it's just stump after stump, and it just kind of gives you some unease where they're cutting, where they're like aggressively cutting here. So I would say, based on your perception check, they gotta cut this operation. Like, they're in it for the money themselves. It's not the most unholy thing in the world, but it is definitely not. You can tell that there's not a druid in these here parts. You instantly, through your 24 check, which I do, is you now get advantage because you rolled over a 20 in this forest. Things are going to come easy to you for a while. You can tell by the migrations, by the way the moss is settling against the trees and things like that, that the forest is not happy in this spot. You're definitely within the realms of being able to, like, probably influence them to stop or tell someone to stop. but they haven't been told to stop at all. They've been just going hard in the paint out here for a long time. But you're not seeing any traffic going out. Your perception check is also letting you know that the weather is unusually cold where you're at, but it's in the 60s, but it should definitely never break below the 70s, 80s in this, you know what I mean, at 4 p.m. You know what I mean, in the Ferunian June. You know what I mean, like where you're at, the Forgotten Realmsian June. I'm sure it's like the month of the broken, like Tabard or something like that. I don't Ed Greenwood that good. I'm trying my best, but
What's up, Raiders?
Hey, Raiders.
Tabletop Misfits. We're definitely not about to go into combat, so don't keep watching. So as the music changes, no, I'm just kidding. You get the sense as you look forward, there's no movement in this camp at all. For as much foresting is going on, for as many carts that are sitting there, you see several tents. A couple tents have fallen over. There is a burnt down hard stand structure in the center of the camp that's not even smoldering anymore. Like it's been burnt to the ground. You see a chimney kind of sitting there. You see one building still standing, and then off to the left of that, as you're getting closer, you can hear the rush of the river before you. You see another two like burnt down structures or collapsed structures, but the tents seem completely quiet as you drive up. But there is something with your 24. There's something definitely wrong here. The critters are not in this camp. The critters are behind you. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like normal squirrels and shit that would like to roll around in a place like this aren't even here. But it looks,
Yeah, so
on a normal eye, it looks like empty. But to you, too empty. Make sense?
yeah, so I'll let the rest of my party know that it is unusually and unsettling it being quiet like this. There's not an animal around. There's no person speaking. Something happened here. Be
And
on
as
your
you
guard.
look closer, it's not necessarily burnt down. The logging camp spreads along the south shore of a river where dozens of tents are arranged on a sandy beach. Near a dock stands a cabin with logs stacked under an awning. Older cabins close by have been torn down um, to leave only a stone chimney in its foundations, and that grim silence still permeates. Tents to your right, tents to your left, and we'll go around the room. Cervantes, so you picked up on that. Cervantes, what would you like to do as she mentions that there's something wrong in the neighborhood?
I'm just going to. I'm still oblivious. Like literally, my passive perception is 8, and like, so none of this really registers aside from, be on the lookout for orcs. There could be orcs roaming around here. That's all I know. And
Orcs, you said?
orcs.
Yeah, you mentioned that along the way. So anything that, you know what I mean, when we fast forward, whatever, you can retroactive like, hey, I told the party about this. Hey,
Well, yeah,
the cast.
I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, like, with I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what any of it means, but other than
Yep.
like there could be orcs here somewhere around. I don't know, and I'm gonna investigate the thing in the middle.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
okay. So you,
ride up and take a look around. I don't know what I'm looking
uh,
for, but looking for signs of
Just-
usage or something.
I just want to say he's not going alone. I'm riding along with him.
okay, so you guys both break your horses and you head to what looks like an old cabin and chimney, but it's basically, you know, it's real old, and they probably just built this new campment around this kind of structure. But there's a nice, you know, chimney sitting there. But yeah, feel free to. You guys want to do a intelligence check?
Just a an investigation around it.
Sure.
18.
Oof, an 18.
Yeah.
Investigation 16.
Okay.
That's a
As you
natural
guys are
16.
searching, you see that there's ruins of an old stone like house. Like you can tell where old rooms must have been by the rocks on the floor. But as you start searching the chimney itself, you both find a totem kind of buried loosely under some debris. It's got like 13 tiny androgynous stick figures dipped in what looks like some sort of blood, inscribed with tiny lightning bolts. And the little like the lightning bolts are etched out, and then there's like an interesting looking like hand, like a hand with a circle in the middle of the hand. Um, but it just looks like some nefarious totem in the ground. But it looks like it was just kind of recently put there, like within the past, 10 days or so, right? Like it, the totem itself isn't like decaying because you guys got a pretty high roll. Like this, it doesn't look like the sticks have been there for as long as the sticks and the debris. Does that track? Like
What did it
Yes.
look like?
discard-
Was
Yeah.
it trying to be hidden, or was it discarded, or
Yeah, it looks like it was like placed under debris in the like there was debris inside the chimney and it was placed in there as well.
okay. You think they were trying to burn this and get rid of it, or
No, the totem looks like something that was left as like bad luck.
okay, so like a curse. Hmm.
Hmm.
We'll stop there because you guys are simultaneously searching this thing out, and I'll go to so Feilani, you did an overall like, man, this is super, you know what I mean? Like sketch. Silith, what would you like to do while two horses go over here, they dismount, they start like tracking, looking at this thing. I'll go with Feilani in the last of this thing to start the out of combat initiative kind of thingy. Silith,
I
what's
would
up?
want to check to see if there's anything that looks out of place that looks like it could be like an ambush spot.
Okay. There's tents to your left. There's tents to your right. There's the stone thing to your front. There's
I'll
kind of
tent,
trees around
tents to
you,
the
but
left. I'll check the tents to the left.
I don't want to butt in on anyone's turn, but can I just if
yeah.
I'll follow along to the tents on the left. I'll just so no one's alone.
And Feilani?
Um, I would like to head to where the cut down trees were, and do some investigation over there.
Well, the three of you, as you break across these sets of tents right here, begin to move, and you, Feilani, with your extraordinary insight check as you walk in here. The two of them hop out the cart. They start moving towards the tent. As you walk up, you see loose earth on like inside this camp. And then as you see the loose earth near Silith and then Ignatius, you see the earth like slide in almost like quicksand and then bursts out these massive like ant-looking creatures. They've got like all these incisors. They stand at about like 7-8 feet, and just like tower over Ignatius and Silith in the spot. And then we'll roll initiative as I set up the map real quick. Can I see you two dudes on the map? Are you guys good with how the map looks when I set these two critters out here?
I think so.
Sure.
One sec. I can zoom in. So, Feilani, you're kind of here.
Okay.
One bursts out in front of him, and then one bursts out next to Ignatius. Ignatius, and I can zoom in as well.
Wish I could fly.
You wish you could fly? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I was sort of saying that to myself, but I forgot we were mic'd up. That'd be a really cool ability.
Ignatius, you see the. It's kind of hard to see this monster. I'll move it into a different spot.
I can see it. I can see
You
it.
see it? I'll move the horse's
Yeah.
butts. The horses go, and they run away.
They're like
they
ants.
say,
No way.
Huh?
I said they were like ants. No way. We're moving.
Well,
Oh, that was the horses.
yes. All right. So, initiative. Anybody above 20?
Oh. Yes. 22.
Okay.
And Slinky has
Hang
what
on.
is it? 14.
One sec, buddy.
Sure.
Okay, so we got Rhodey up
I'll give
top.
you. Yeah. I'll give you
Anybody
Slinky.
above 15 or above?
I got an 18.
18.
Slinky is a 17.
Okay. What was yours, Ignatius?
18.
And I think you have a higher dex, right? Yep. Ignatius. Brody, Ignatius, Phailani, Slinky. And then anybody above 10 or above?
11.
12.
Okay, Cervantes and Silas. All right. All righty. All right, so these things burst out of the ground. Brody, you are probably, you see these things attack out the corner of your eye. You see one probably 20 feet from you.
Okay.
Can you see your character?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
going. So it's kind of hidden behind the looks like the big furnace thing that we're facing. Is there a is that like a doorway or like
Sure.
that he can see through to the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even like that high. All that stuff is like
Oh, okay.
half cover, 3/4 cover stuff.
Okay. Then I want to shoot the one that's sort of more in the center of the group with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. I just want to say it's been 2 years I've had these minis, and I finally get to use my onkegs. All right.
So that'll be 15. I'm rolling super high, and then all of a sudden I roll a 9 on the die when it comes time to attack. I'm terrible at attacking this season. Or this,
That
campaign.
15 hits, buddy. This is level 2. Okay. Like, yeah, I don't know what campaigns you're fighting in, but this is, you guys are real skinny. Okay. Like,
So that is 10 points of force damage.
okay. So this is your Eldritch Blast.
Yes.
All right. This is the part where
And
I
it's
become,
sort of the green venomy looking Eldritch Blast. So it's kind of sickly when it hits him. It just kind of almost like it splashes.
and you
even
said
though it is-
14 points of damage?
No, 10 points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you hit this thing, and Ignatius, you're underneath this thing as it just towers over top of your halfling body, and immediately, like right on cue, Texas Brody just like straight like a hole through this thing, like under its thorax or some sort of like insect stuff, a beam blasts right through it, over your head, and just makes purchase into the sand behind you. Anything else you want to do, Brody?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell. I think I'm gonna bonus action have Slinky. He's invisible, and have him go head towards the other one
Okay. He will head.
on his turn.
Yep. All right. What do I want to say? Ian, Ignatius, standing underneath this thing as it surprises you and bursts. You can see it's like pincers. This thing's about to, you know what I mean? Like in about 1 second, just start smashing some Ignatius.
Yeah, so I'm going to tighten up my hand around my blades, and have my. I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis.
Ooh, man, I was just
Hell.
reading about that today. I missed it, and I was like, "What does that do?" But go ahead.
So
It's
like
cat.
frost sort of begins to grow on my shoulders and
Yeah.
everywhere. And that's a bonus action, so I'll then attack with my short sword.
All right. It's got thoraxy parts like
Ooh.
Roman armor. Ooh, are you gonna be able to
25.
Ooh. What?
25.
God.
You
I rolled
hit
a 19.
Tiamat somehow as you like. So yeah, so like the blast of whatever, and you just you yoink this thing.
Yep. So that does 8 points of damage,
Okay.
and then I'll attack with my dagger as well, because it has the nick property, so I don't use my bonus action to attack with it.
Sure.
And because my short sword has the vex property, I attack with advantage, just to
I'm convinced. I don't know who you're
throw
trying
more
to
under the bus there.
100%.
So that one I got a 19.
That hits.
Okay, and
You
this one
fight him like
does.
an insect. I hope you hit him.
So the dagger only does 1, but because I haven't used my sneak attack, I'll add that in there, so it does 7.
Because it's first round. Wait.
Yeah,
How do you get
I
a
had
sneak
it
attack? Explain to me.
because I had advantage on my second attack. So if I attack with advantage,
Because of that.
so I attacked with my short sword first. That gives me the vex property on my next attack, so I have advantage with my dagger, and because it has the nick property, I don't have to burn my bonus action. Yeah, so
Fantastic. So poison spray, Eldritch blast through. You stab with the short sword, open it up a little bit, those little Roman plates of the thorax, and stab your dagger square into this oncag, and just little like thick peanut butter like green insect goo just covers you, and you smell
And
like that forever. I'm just kidding.
I don't want to leave its reach, but can you move me around to a different edge of it?
Yeah, you want to edge the.
I'm totally edging it.
Edge the
That looks
oncag!
that looks good right there.
Okay.
Congratulations. Okay, anyways. Feilani. So like you see these holes, the sand sink in, and then these things burst out of the ground like there was a manhole cover, because you could see this huge flat brown rusty looking surface of a head kind of pop out of the ground. Ignatius, like right on cue, is like already got his short sword out, like going to attack this thing as the poison spray hits it in the back. What do you want to do, friend?
I am going to cast Toll the Dead at the one that's severely injured.
Dong. Okay.
Got to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me just bring up the stats that I didn't study. These things are super wise. Okay. A 16 though.
Yeah, it saves.
What? I'm so sorry, friend. But hey, great insight check you did coming in here. Because, but so this thing being an insect or whatever, this bell shows up, and I'm assuming because you're a druid, it's like this bell with it's like a flower bell, right? And it's just it does this like sound, and it doesn't. The Ankegs are like, I don't know what a bell is for now, but it's gonna learn. And that brings up Slinky.
Slinky's just moving over to get into the
Freaky snake?
help position. He's flying, but he's
Yeah,
invisible. So
fantastic. Now it's Ankeg time. All right, so let's see. We'll go with Silith. You're just chilling over there, being quiet, trying to get me to forget about you. Um, it is going to. It's going to shoot. I would like Silith and Ignatius to make a dexterity saving throw.
Great.
I literally moved so I wouldn't get caught in something like this, and here I am. Okay. I'm making a dex save. Let's do it.
Oh. Yeah, so this will be good call. Good call. This is Phailani and Silith are making this deck save. What'd you get, buddy?
7.
Okay. Phailani, what'd you get?
Got a 15.
Okay.
Yeah,
Phailani, you
fuck.
take 6 acid damage. And Silith, you take 12 acid damage as this thing just shoots this like black goo and it sprays all over you guys and burns like crazy. Ignatius, this one turns to you. You sees you moving so fast, it's just gonna bite at you. Oh no! So that's gonna be a 14 to hit. Nope,
That
it's
does not
14 to
hit.
hit. And
Does not hit.
It just tries to bite you and miss, and that brings up Cervantes with Silith on deck.
Would I?
Oh, you
No, I.
What are you trying to do?
No.
As you
I
say, describe to me the roof
No.
in the.
No.
Tell me.
I'm just trying which one. I'm trying to think which one I would go for. I'm just gonna go for the one that is going for Ignatius.
cute one.
Yeah, the cute
Okay.
one. Yeah. Going for
Yep, so
Ignatius.
you run over there.
I
Yep.
run over for the code, the crown, and the turnip, and I don't even have my shield out yet, and I'm
Okay.
going to swing with with my longsword, and that is a dirty 20 to hit.
Hits very dirtily. Unclean.
Oh, nice. 10
Ooh,
or
so
9
dirty.
plus 3, 12. 12 damage.
Damage. Okay. Yep. So you run straight over with your longsword and just like right over Ignatius's head as it tries to bite this thing, and you get it right in the big mawy mouth, and maybe one of the incisors just kind of falls off. This thing's looking like it's not gonna make it another 6 seconds.
And then just for non-action, I'm just gonna grab a turnip and shove it in its pinchers.
Okay. All right. Give it a turnip. It's fantastic. Very cinematic. Silith. You're sizzling right now with acid.
Yeah,
You're gonna need some
just a
vinegar
whole
for
lot.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I took that right in the face. Like, I didn't like that at all. That burned everything. I'm gonna have to heal myself.
Oh, sick.
I'm
Got the
I'm
clear
gonna-
kind of
I'm gonna-
heals.
I'm gonna smack myself in the chest and hope my god does me right and cast Cure Wounds on myself
Okay.
for 2d8 plus 3. Because
That's nice.
I'm hurting. That's 14 back.
All right. You're
So
fully. You're back. You're
Yeah.
100%.
I am fully healed, and I would like to move around the other side of it so that it can't shoot
So it can't just
multiple
spray
of us.
buddies? It can't do buddy spray?
Yeah, so it can only
Nice.
hit one of us.
Okay. You swing around, you pull it in Ignatius, you see what Ignatius does. Ignatius, out of the corner of your eyes, you see Silith kind of run over, like he's got this spray on his face, and you just see this glow, as his face mends back to its original. It's very Jurgen's Loesch on his face from Timora. Timora
Yeah, all the
lotion.
flesh that's on the ground seems to grow back on my face.
Delicious. it just
I'm
comes
not.
back.
No, it doesn't come back, but it just kind of grows back. So you're like, oh yeah, I see how that works. Ew.
Okay. And that brings around the next round. After these messages, Feilani, as you're standing there, and this Ankeg shifts to Silith, another one bursts from the ground and takes a bite at you from behind you.
Oh, that's rude.
And that is a 14 to hit.
That hits.
Is she within 5 feet of me?
Negative.
Okay. If
You're
I'm right,
going to take 10 slashing damage.
Oh, well, I'm down.
So you guys see this thing burst out of the ground, bite her, and she falls. Silith. Timora calls.
Good thing I've got call waiting. Hello.
Brody, go.
I'm going the one that just popped up. Well, yeah, the one that just popped up. I'm gonna hit it with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
That is 17 to hit,
Hits.
and that'll be 8 points of force damage.
Force. Yep.
And yeah, that's gonna be my turn.
Alrighty. That brings up Ignatius. You see this another one. You just your peripheries are going off. You see another large looking, shadow kind of pop up, and you hear Feilani preparing to cast a spell, Toll the Dead, and her voice kind of stops as this thing, stands over her.
Okay, I'm gonna stab this one I'm on then.
Yep. Absolutely.
I wanted to say that Slinky is at the same creature that he is about to attack. So does that give him advantage? That's the whole point of him going over there to do the help action.
Sure does. So Slinky,
Okay, so I have the help action.
invisible, right?
Yeah.
In order to somehow create an advantage in this scenario, is flapping its wings in the face of this thing. The creature knows where Slinky's at.
Okay.
You can have. You understand how to. You can't just.
He can't be invisible. Right.
Invisible and sneaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll have to be able to occupy its thoughts. So
Okay.
go for it, Ignatius. At advantage.
With advantage, I got a 17.
Hits.
Big
holy
raid.
crap, big raid. Thank you,
Wow.
Robert Hartley.
Do you guys know who Robert Hartley GM is?
Yeah.
Holy guacamole. Dude, many thank yous. I have to get back into this Ankeg fight. Wow. Super blessed to have you guys with us. Thank you so much. Go for it with your sneak attack or your advantage.
14.
14. All right. So you had your short sword in its thorax, and then you stabbed it, right? and then you pulled it right back out. As it was like posturing again, it left that space open, and you just ripped it open, and it falls dead. And you can see right past it this Ankeg standing over top with its like over top of like Feilani.
Yeah,
And
can I use my movement to run and I'm gonna jump on it.
on the
The one that's
Feilani's one.
yeah, and I still have my offhand attack with my dagger, so I'm gonna run over and jump on it and like try to bury my dagger in to keep me stuck to it.
Dude, that sounds fun. We're just gonna let this happen. You just run over there and you just like spider monkey and just jump on this thing. All right.
So my offhand attack on that is a, let's see, and I get advantage because of my ability here.
You're
Well, I might not have hit. I might not have hit 13.
It does not hit.
Damn. Okay.
But I will say you've successfully mounted an Ankeg. This is great for me, bad for Feilani. I'm having a great time. Stay with us.
I'm riding this thing.
Don't lose
Let's
hope.
go. Oh, you know what? Can I do we don't have a reroll, do we?
We have a no, we don't have a reroll. I don't think we do. Yeah,
No problem. Okay. Someone else can go then. My turn's done. Thank you.
That brings up Feilani. Roll. Oh, I got you. I forgot. This is how we do it. Feilani, you see as you are laying there and your eyes are kind of drifting out, you see for a second a woman in the tree line. She passes by. She's wearing green robes, jet black hair, all the way down to the center of her back, perfectly braided, and she's got bright green, unhuman eyes. She looks at you and then passes and disappears behind the next tree. As if her gait, you would have seen her pass the other side. In her hand, as she was moving, much like the labyrinth with David Bowie, and she's got an orb in her hand, and she's kind of flowing it around. And then you don't know if that was like a fever dream of being unconscious or not at this point, but that's what you're experiencing. And that brings up Slinky.
He is going to fly over, and I guess so. This one shouldn't know where he's at, right?
No.
Okay, he's going to fly over to that one, and help out with any attacks that
Slink
so that he can
Vantage.
get advantage.
We're gonna call this Slink Vantage. All right, so you're
Slink
going
Vantage.
over there. All right, and this brings up Ankeg time. Ankeg with Ignatius on its back is just gonna take its little mantis guys and just start like swinging back at Ignatius. Does a 18 hit Ignatius?
Yes, it does.
That is 8 slashing.
Okay.
If the target is a large or smaller creature, it has the grappled condition.
Okay.
You are grappled. As
Yes.
This thing grabs you.
And as it grabs me, my frost armor, my armor of Agathis, goes off, and it takes 5 frost damage.
Ooh, okay. And you are also taking 1 poison damage from this thing in its grapples.
Oh, okay.
And that brings up the other Ankeg, who swings around looking for Silith.
Tim, I should be standing in front of both of those Ankegs, about 10 feet away from them.
Oh, you're over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see you. I'll move you over there here in a second.
Just so you know, if they want to come to me, that's all I'm saying.
Understood. I'll move you over there right after this move. It moves its like big, you know what I mean, dome-looking head. You know, it looks like Lord Helmet. You know, and it's just like poor you, and it tries to bite you. It doesn't say that because it's an insect thingy, and it misses like a champ, unless a 10 hits. Does a 10 hit? Silas?
Nope.
No. All right. That brings up
I hope not.
Brody.
Grief, no.
I am going to hit it with an Eldritch Blast.
Wait,
I'm gonna put you over here. You're
Okay.
blasted.
wait, it should be me. Because me and
Okay.
Silith haven't gone yet.
Oh shit!
We're
I'm
last,
sorry,
though.
buddy. I'm sorry. Cervantes, go for it.
Seeing
Might
Phailani fall, I pull off the shield. And I hear me, gods! If ever I was twice blessed, then grant me a third. Let her stand again. And I run up and bash the Ankeg with Ignatius on the top. And I was gritting. I was like, by the sacred code, I swear, if she is taken from us, I will smite the heavens until they blink. And I hit it with my long sword. 19 to hit.
Yeah, sure, for sure. And you're going after Phailani's one?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is 8 plus or 6 plus 3, 9.
9. All
Yeah,
right.
9 slashing, and it has disadvantage on its next attack. And
Okay.
and then I'll yell to everybody, "To me, comrades, for honor, for Phailani!"
Nice, dude.
I'm in the thing's mouth going, shut up and kill it!
Silent.
All right, well, I'm running back around this one again
Okay.
to get to Phailani.
You get in. They're close enough where you can touch Phailani if you go back
Yeah.
around. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over there.
You got to do the Zoidberg dance though to get around this thing. You got to be like, and just like, scooch.
That's not
Could
what
you do the
18
dance
charisma
again?
does. No.
Thank you. One more time.
So basically, my eyes flash a bit green like 4-leaf clovers as energy just shoots down my arm into her to heal her.
Nice. Welcome back, Phailani. Coco's gonna quit because I've
Gonna
killed
be-
her like 2 for 2.
He's gonna down me every.
I swear,
combat session.
if you look at the map, that's where it's supposed to pop out. I promise.
I
How
rolled
much she heal?
minimum healing. I rolled 2 1s on these stupid D8, so that's 5.
The 2?
Hey, I'll take it.
5. It's 2d8 plus 3.
Phailani, you come to consciousness, and Brody, you're. Oh, do you want to do anything else, Silas?
So now I'm in range of both of them, right?
Correct.
Sweet. No, I'm good.
Well, it's currently eating a halfling right now, so the halfling is getting a bunch of the damage. But
It's-
Brody,
It's fine.
So the one that he stabbed with the longsword, I am going to hit the other one. So that the one that doesn't have disadvantage on its next attack, I'm going after
yep.
that
So
one.
this one's like reaching for Silas' back right now.
Right.
Like, get over here, you
I'm
pesky time.
gonna, as it's reaching, I'm gonna try to like shear off those mandibles and claws with a blast. That'll be 13 plus 6, 19.
19. Hits.
All right, and for damage, it is only 7 points.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna yell out, "Come at me, you shelled creature of, I don't know."
And you hear it go click, click, clickety, click, click, because
Shake your fist.
speaking-
Shake your fist.
Yeah. Click, 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 click.
I
Let's
was
see.
trying to emulate Sarah Cervantes, but I'm definitely no good at it.
It's pretty motivating. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Ignatius,
Yes.
in the mouth. You are grappled. You can break the grapple, or you can just stay with it.
I feel like I should just keep stabbing.
Okay.
This might not be a good idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna stab. I don't have advantage on this, or is the little helper here?
He's helping. He's out right now. His goal is to help you because it's important for the rogue to have advantage.
I'm in front of him. So I'm
And
in
by
front
the
of
new
that guy.
grappling rules, the only person you don't have disadvantage against is the grappler. As a grapple E, you're still in the fight.
Yeah, so he should have advantage because
Well,
of me.
I rolled a 1, but
Yes!
but I'm a halfling, so I re-rolled and it got a 4. But my other dice is
Coming for you, Bailani.
an 18, which totals 24. So that hits. I'm
Yeah.
assuming
That's a good hit.
that's a good hit. We'll take it. 9 plus 4, 13 with my short sword.
All right, nice.
Let me go.
It's
And then I'll hit it.
pretty bloodied.
Let's sneak attack.
No, that is with the sneak attack in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then my dagger, a 13 to hit again. I don't think that hits.
That misses.
Yeah. Damn you, dagger.
Feilani, you're underneath this thing. You're on your back, prone, but it's got like that, weird angular. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like underneath this thing as it's like dancing around with its, arachnid-looking legs. There's dust flying up.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a chromatic orb right into it.
Tight.
And that is going to be a 23 to hit.
We're level 2. 23 hits hard.
Okay, let me get my 38. And it's going to be lightning damage, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so that is 12, and I rolled 2 2s on the d8, so the chromatic orb can do the lightning damage. That's 12 points of lightning damage on that one, and it will hop over to the next one and do the same type of lightning damage.
Ankeg?
Yep.
Because you just killed that Ankeg with that lightning. So you're back. So you're underneath this thing like, skadoosh! And the lightning bolt does like basic chain lightning.
And it does 13 on the other one.
Nice. That one just like chunks and bits of Ankeg just start spraying you like mulch. You know what I mean? Silith, as lightning just starts crackling around you. You're not too sure as you Zoidberg, you know what I mean, over your shoulders, and there's the Ankeg like ready to hit you. What would Slinky like to do?
He is just continuing his help. That's all he's doing. And since that
one
dead,
got ripped to shreds.
Since that was dead, he's going to move over to the other one.
Okay. He just.
Yep.
Somebody felt wind go over their head, and Slinky's over there. The last Ankeg goes for the cleric.
The one that I was in the mouth of died, right?
So this thing, it's been getting blasted. It goes to hit you and takes a lightning bolt straight to the face from your dear friend Feilani and misses like a champ. And that brings up Cervantes.
I turn to see it take the lightning to the face, and I yell, "Your quarrel is now with me, and I am exhausting," and just smack it with my short sword or long sword again, or not again, but with this one. Shit, man, I'm on fire tonight. 24 to hit.
That's a good one. I do that.
Min. That's min damage. So that's hold on, that was wrong. 3 plus 3, 6, and I'm gonna action surge, and action surge, and just yell, and you'll take another turnip to the face. 17 to hit.
That hits.
And takes another 7.
Okay. And you're rolling an 8-sided for this longsword because you got your shield out, correct?
Yep.
Tight. Okay. Oh, how do you want to do this? Nice shot. My last 7 did it. So your action surge just comes in, and I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, so I pull out a. Well, no, I have the shield. No, I just go straight into his mouth and I just yell inside.
Oh, nice.
By turnip and truth,
It's doing this.
I kill thee.
Nice. It's totally killed. As it falls, you hear help from that cabin that was. Let me back out. See the thatch there? You hear a scream from it like help. And Silas. Well, Servanas, you want to run? Or
I probably didn't hear that.
oh no, you did. You 100% did.
Oh,
That was me saying everybody over to help. Yeah, yeah.
like yeah, I wouldn't even think about it. I would just run over because
Oh, you're heading over. All
yeah.
right. Yeah, so you'll just use your 30 feet. You're on the other side of the chimney right now. You're just trucking over there, leaving on keg all over the place. And that brings up Silent.
So all the enemies are dead.
Correct.
Then I will run over where we heard the help yelling.
You want dash?
Yes.
Brody.
He is going to turn and immediately run, using all of his 30 feet.
Let me fixing cameras. Let's see if right means right. Nope, right means left. Okay, fantastic. Look at that. Just a simple cabin that there'd be nothing wrong in. Yeah. So you're up. You're probably closest to it. And that brings up Leilani, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna run where I heard the screaming.
Dash?
Well, first, actually, hold on.
Feilani the twice pissed.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll let you be the first one in, Feilani, if you want. Just kidding.
Yeah, you didn't see the dirty look I just gave you. I'm going to run where I heard the hearing, but I'm not going to immediately go in.
Okay. Anybody ever go like swimming in the ocean and just has salt water pouring out of their nose for like the rest of the week? Yeah. The constant, like every once in a while, like just pure salt water coming out of like I got like a bad face and injury playing rugby, so like my sinus cavities all jacked up over here, and anytime I go in the ocean, just like whoop, straight salt water.
Now, Tim, I got a question.
Clear you
for
out.
you. I see your shirt that says Dungeon Dad. Does Dad stand for Druids Always Die?
Ha! Yeah, it does today. Yeah, yeah.
That's a good one. I can't be mad at that.
Man, thanks for everybody sticking around, coming in with Rob Hartley. That was amazing. Love having new guests here. So did you dash the whole way, dear sweet Feilani, who I don't target whatsoever, as a non-toxic, completely good dungeon master? Did you
Yeah. I did full movement.
Thank you, with your 2 hit points. I love it. All right, let's see.
I have 5.
I'm sorry, Ignatius, I skipped you. What do you want to do?
If everybody's running off to the cottage over there, I'm just going to stick my head in the tent and see if there's any supplies.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you see normal people stuff. You see backpacks, bedrolls, boxes that can turn into tables and things like that. Your basic, like camp supply guy stuff. There's bunk beds.
If my
and
understanding is
bronzes.
this is sort of what they were looking for, right? My new friends.
Oh yeah, there's camp supplies everywhere. If that's
Yeah.
what you're looking for, you do see a wagon nearby that is laden with supplies. Yes.
Oh, there's a wagon nearby like that?
Yes, if that's what you're if that's what you're looking for, you see a wagon like just sitting there, no horses or oxen or anything like that attached to it, but boom, you see what you're looking for.
I'm gonna go over and investigate that and check out what's in there.
Okay. Yep. You walk over, and on the sides, you see Barthen's Provisions on the side of it. You know, like a label, and in it has okay. So we'll keep this going for the sake of time. That brings
Yeah, no,
up
absolutely.
Cervantes. You're getting close. Your next action, you could dash to get inside this compound if you wanted to.
Oh, I'm dashing just straight in.
Okay.
For the crown of the turnip, Cervantes is here to help.
As you break in there, you see an overturned table, blocking a room. Right as soon as you walk in, and then there's this another oncag like tearing at the sheetrock, which they have in the Forgotten Realms because there's so much magic that over the past couple years they have invented sheetrock from all the new artificers in the world. So it is starting to tear through the sheetrock, and it looks over at you, Cervantes. But you had dashed. You're only arriving.
I'm just
You know,
I'm there.
super tired,
I'm
just
there
off
to
everything.
I'm there to intercept whatever it's doing. Not today, fell hand. Strike me, for I am twice as blessed and twice as stubborn.
And it looks over you and goes, click, click, clickety, click, 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 in a very angry fashion. You have taunted it. Silith, you can make it. You can go in and actually attack. But there's probably.
I would like to do that.
Okay, so you guys you guys are in front of its little mandibles. There you are, Silith. You're in there. What do you want to do?
Can I hit it with a firebolt, or do I have to use my spear?
For sure.
Yes.
Are you doing this from melee? Or are you doing this from range?
I would prefer to do that on the way in if I see it, and then get into melee with it.
If you're in there, you're in melee, pal.
Well, then we're doing it.
Yeah. On cake time. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right, firebolt. You gonna throw me in there? You should definitely throw me in the building.
Oh yeah,
You know.
for sure. You're making me do PT here.
I want to be where I die, if I'm gonna die. Okay, just. That is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. With some gold flames
Okay.
for 6 points of fire damage.
Nice. Cervantes, you race in there, and just this streak of golden flame strike this thing in its giant dome piece. And then underneath, like right next to you, stands the brave Silith.
The code is strong with thee.
with you. That brings up.
So
Brody.
bonus action, can I tap my shield into Sir Cervantes just to, we're here.
Oh, you got a shield too?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Bing.
Bink.
I go.
That brings up Brody.
No need, dear friend. That was one of my 2 thanks already.
What do you want to do, Brody?
I'm going to run in there and, I'm staying at least 10 feet away from it. I want to shoot it with the Elder's Blast because I'm a warlock and apparently that's what I do.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I don't know about the rest of the party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking
Hey, at least
you.
I'm hitting this week. Last time it was terrible. I missed every single attack. 18.
That's
with
not
the-
true. You hit us.
That is
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, with the nat 1, I hit y'all.
So this banter is going on during combat. Like as you guys are clearing these things, like last time I couldn't hit anybody. Like no, actually you did. And he's got this reddish pink scar like on his back. But yeah, go ahead.
13 points of damage.
13 points of damage. That's kind of Franglish. All right. Anything else you'd like to do? Would you like to move your little slinky along or give it orders?
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, I'll bring him as far as he can come.
Slinky's been doing the same thing. So what we'll say is like standard operating procedures for Slinky in combat is to go,
Help out.
fly in something's face.
Yep.
Okay. You guys heard that. Clip it. All right. Anyways, Ignatius,
Speed is 40 feet. Just
you walk over, you see this is a abundant supply of mining gear. But I will also say the Barthen seal on the side can easily be etched out.
I was actually you're one step ahead of me, sir. I will start. I'll get my night.
Writing Minex?
I take a quick look over my shoulder, make sure everybody's occupied in that building, which I think they are. And then I start scraping. Then I start scraping that away.
Fantastic. All right. Feilani.
I am going to stand outside the door and cast Druidcraft. I'm going to do a sensory effect. I want it to be the sound of a very large animal that might scare this thing off.
Are you going to have to use a persuasion/deception check on that?
I might.
Okay, go for it, pal. So you do like woo, 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 woo. Isn't that from Endor? But anyways, so like you make the weird
Is that
wampum
Ash?
sound.
Is that
Were you
Ash?
trying to make the Obi-Wan sound?
Yeah, that whatever that song was. Yeah.
Did 16 work?
The fact that I recognized it means you did it well. I'm just saying.
So as you do this, Feilani, I don't know how you're crushing with your rolls with your horrible charisma. This thing goes and dives under the ground, which gives an opportunity attack for Silith and Cervantes. Quick, roll! It's going down. Auga, auga.
Dirty 20.
Hits.
10 damage.
Okay.
18 to hit.
Hits.
7 damage, max. Sweet.
Oh my gosh. All right, so like Cervantes, if this thing goes into the ground, Cervantes does the same thing, skewers it in its mouth, but it peels back and it doesn't have like a throat because it's like an insect thing. But you see it. How do you want to do this?
I
Silith?
want to put the spear right
Not
through it.
Silith. For Silith.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to put the spear right through it.
Nice.
Point it around and jam it right through.
Heck yeah. All right. So you
A lucky
jam
shot.
that thing straight through. It falls. It like there's like a the room goes quiet. You guys fall out of combat. The silty kind of sand kind of folds around it as it just like slumps over. Switching.
Did you say
You
lucky
hear-
shot? I follow the goddess of luck. Duh.
That's why I said it and did the quotes. That's why I said it and did the quotes.
I'll take it.
You hear from behind a desk like these eyes. Timora be or Tyr or any of the gods be praised. Thank you so much. As this like just dirt covered, emaciated. He's got a red flannel on. And he's got maple leaf, tattoo on his arm, and he's just like, thank you so much. You just saved me, eh? And he walks over and begins to shake your hands for the sake of time, because we're getting so close. I'm gonna push through some interrogatives. Does that make sense? Okay. He basically lets you know 2 ugly cultists came through. They told us to give us a secret. I have no idea. They asked why we were here and where the Shrine of Sabras was. We told the little buggers to bugger off. They walked into this burnt cabin And then, or not the bird cabin, that stone place, they messed around with the chimney and then left. Later, these beasts exploded from the ground. The anchorites, they're not following Talos anymore. They're following some sort of whispered guy or something along the ways of that. It was really weird. They got into our last rowboats and canoes and followed where that little gnome and that elf went. And that's where we'll pick up in the next session.
I wanted to say that at this point, I think Brody would have looked at that little like totem thing and figured out what was going on, and he would have broken it.
Oh yeah. Yes, you 100%. You could. Yep. You could break that. Anybody else want to do anything quick? Because I'm tracking Ignatius. You made good. As you look at this thing, matter of fact, just make a quick deception roll, because this is how this finishes up.
25.
25.
Yeah.
It is an exact replica of the Minex sign that you just carve really fast into the side of this thing, and it's just like perfect. And there are probably 500 gold pieces worth of supplies inside this thing. Definitely, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of good stuff.
I'll be like, look, guys, we can take it back to the rightful owners in town.
He seems a little bit too happy.
I'm Vanna Whiting the cart. I'm like, dun, 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 dun.
We'll say you crushed up the totem, which you get the sense that this would have broke whatever was called the pig's blood that was all over it was what was bringing these onkegs to this
Right.
place. So for all intents and purposes, the loggers camp is now functioning. The tabernacle that's inside is just like, hey, you helped him out. He and Don John Raskin start talking about what to do next. These are all the montage and clothing. Silith and Cervantes, you did a fantastic job. Like, as you were fighting this thing, you noticed that Cervantes, you weren't hit. And as you look down at your shield, you can see a little bit of an aura of an attuned, where you're not necessarily attuned to it, but this is a +1 shield.
What?
Yes.
Holy.
It's got a, you know what I mean? Like, however long you take to get to Helm's Hold before this becomes unholy again. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I gotcha.
In Feilani, you do have a memory of a different person or humanoid that you had a vision of. Subject to that, it's been a night, and I appreciate you guys hanging out while I'm trying to push all these NPCs on you guys as we do the opening chapter, and I'm trying to give you guys so many breadcrumbs to kind of move along the way. So in the next session, you guys will be at the river that flows that way towards potentially the Shrine of Sabras. And if it makes you feel any better, this was a level 4 fight that you guys did at level 2, which makes you guys level 3.
Oh,
Nice.
hell yeah.
Oh, sweet.
It was a pretty tough one. Ask Feilani. So you guys will be level 3. The first few levels as we play this thing will come pretty fast, and then it'll slow down. Okay, so just so we can have some decent fights with some decent healing and things like that in the future. But fighting off some onkegs at your level was pretty fantastic. You guys did a great job. Anybody have any parting words before we leave with 40 people to a decent raid? Let me look.
Thank you very much, Raiders.
Yeah, thank you for all the raids.
ladies. Is this Dave? Is Dave watching us right now? Is the Dave
Yeah,
on this
that's
channel?
Dave.
Like,
Yeah.
oh man, we had Rob Hartley and Dave. Like, these are some of the folks that I was watching. Back when, I'm still a noob, but
Plug the charity, man.
let's see. Man, what's up?
Plug the charity, man.
Oh yeah, yep. So we got 988 up. It's the mental health awareness, suicide awareness. It is still June, which is men's mental health awareness. But it's everybody's mental health awareness is important. I don't want to bifurcate, on that one. But 988 itself is a bunch of heroes on the other side of texts or calls that can get you specialized resources if you're in a dark place. And remember, for everybody that's out there, don't call 988 when you're having a darkest day. This isn't when you're at the end, but definitely do that as well. But use it as a preventative measure. If you feel yourself starting to spiral or feeling lonely or something like that, reach out to these folks because they're going to give you techniques to help yourself or help others. And if you don't have the squanch to click the button and do the charity itself, I would recommend you pack 30 minutes out of your day tomorrow or the next day if you're stuck in traffic to reach out to a friend, call them, check in on them, but have the ability that when you send text like, hey, how you doing? To be able to respond a little bit and give that empathy. Get down the hole with them. You're going to save a life. And that is way better in my opinion, than obviously spending the money on these things, but taking care of each other as a community, as Stronghold, or just human beings, especially during these dark times. I don't want to go into it, but check on a buddy. You know what I mean? People get sucked into comment sections and make themselves really dark. So help each other out. Tomorrow night, the amazing, awesome, venerable DM Jeremy, Old Men Rolling Dice, is going to crush it with Castles and Crusades with us. So please join in Troll Lord Games, Summer of Siege tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern, Castles and Crusades. And then Saturday we're on with Lord Gazuma. Sir Timothy gets to play in it. And then, are you playing Fawnland?
I am playing violin.
Well, Vamp, you in on this one? Or are you taking a break? All right. And so, yep. And then we'll be doing that with Jay Scott, Lord Gazumba. And then Sunday we're back with DM Pete and Saltmarsh. Okay, and then we start the cycle again for next week. So thank you guys so much for watching. If we could, since he rated into us, I'd like to do Jason Charles Miller if we can.
Absolutely.
You guys take these guys, listen to some good music. He's the sweetest human being alive if you ever meet him. Like the most approachable celebrity that, you know what I mean, you'll run into. Super great guy and an amazing cowboy hat.
Yep.
Oh, and Rob's playing with us. Thanks, Dave. Rob's playing with us.
Yes.
Yeah, his,
I'm playing
his
with
birthday was
And
yesterday.
I've never got to play with the Black Knight. I hope to God he's playing the Black Knight. That'd be freaking fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah,
He's
that's
probably
it.
playing his. He's probably playing his dwarf.
Let's raid out of here with 42. You guys want to leave? Diddle-oo,
Yep.
diddle-oo, diddle-oo,
Thanks,
diddle-oo,
everybody.
diddle-oo,
See
diddle-oo,
ya.
diddle-oo. Love you guys. Miss you. Love you. Bye.